more points on the road than at home. That's what I like about him.
All right, we'll watch the Winnipeg Jets and the Leafs in just a moment as we get ready for this matchup here at Maple Leaf Gardens.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please rise and join Belle Francois in singing our national anthem.
Are about ready to go at it here tonight at Maple Leaf Gardens. Winnipeg still hoping to make the playoffs. The Leafs looking rather solid. A lot of new players, though. Here are the goaltenders tonight. Tim Cheveldae. He has played in 20 of the Jets' 35 games to date. His latest win last night, 32 saves in that 7-4 decision over Vancouver. Damian Rhodes has started 8 games this season and has been named one of the 3 stars in 5 of them. Has not allowed more than 3 goals in any one start. Up front for the Leafs, Sundin at center tonight. Gartner and the Hogue on the wings. Gill and Davel up the defenseman. Winnipeg, McCoolchek, Newman the defenseman. Emerson, Solani, and Kachuk. Newman coming back at the net. Takes a bump right away. Teemu Solani. Pass the puck and got away from everybody near center ice. Kachuk on it. He's a great hockey player, and he likes the rough stuff. Fired it in, took a hit, and kept going. Benoit Hogue is number 28. There's Sundin trying to find the puck. He will not. First save for Rhodes. An easy one. Shot from just inside the blue line. Newman chopping at it. Winnipeg starting back. Emerson is up there going for the net. Shot doesn't reach the net. Emerson backhands it into the corner again. And Jamie McCown steps in behind Damian Rhodes and starts away. But as far as center was checked, so dumped it in. Dave Manson. Rolled a pass ahead. Drake gave it back to him. Manson and the shot blocked. Andrechuk circles in his own zone. Well, they're starting early to freewheel a bit. We played 120. Opening period. Nothing too dangerous yet. Only the one shot. 60-footer. Zhendov. And he's number 10. Watch him. Turned out to be a great goal scorer for the Winnipeg Jets. Andrechuk stepping away for Toronto. Ridley through center ice. Ridley over the line. Cuts away from one check and another and keeps going with Randy Wood. Got it out front and Cheveldae tapped it away. And it's fired by Korolev right on the net. Two teams changing. Butcher tipped it. He was up across center. Shannon around the net for Winnipeg. Gave it away. Butcher takes a look. He sees Ed Olczyk coming in. He is wearing number 16. That's his old number with Winnipeg, with Toronto. So he's back in Winnipeg and on the ice now. And coming in after the puck. Along with Eastwood. Olczyk got in front, couldn't get a shot though. Jets keep it in. McCoolchek shooting it back at the goal. 2.5 minutes into the opening period. No score. Butcher on the boards. Hit his man. It is centered to the side of the net. Old Jack comes loose again, and the Leafs get it out. Domi. He didn't get too far. Butcher. Chuck a hit. So did Domi. A light one. Long shot in there by DiPietro, and he'll be wearing number 25 for the Maple Leafs. No score. Gardner, number 11, takes it near his own blue line and lost it. Shot back to the net. Ellis. Coming up to the 4-minute mark. Pretty good pace. Little bump inside the line, sending the hold to the ice. Back there is Quintal, and he just shot it away. No whistle so far. They're moving right along. No score so far. Up through center ice. Gardner made a good move. Got in on the wing, bumped on the boards. In back of the net is Holt. Gardner in front.
To take it. Gardner dumps the puck in behind the net, and Holt beats Quintal. Gardner goes to the net. Manson lets him go, and the pass is right on the tape. And Chevelday got a bit of it, but not enough of it. Watch Gardner get away from Manson. This is how he scored. Manson let him get to the net. Holt made the pass, and Gardner slapped it in.
Hogan Gill assisting on the 7th of the season for Gardner. Kachuk is in, and makes a big stop on him. 3:46, the scoring play for Toronto. Gardner from Hogan Gill, 1-0. Winnipeg pressing. Manson shot, missing, big rebound ball. And the Leafs pick it up and clear it out. Off the stick of Quintal. Manderville and Hendrickson. Hendrickson, number 37. Manderville, 18. And this is Mike Craig, number 9. A shot in there for Chevelday. 1-0 Toronto. Nearing the 5-minute mark. First period. Manson doing a good job. And the quick shot by Zhenov missed the far side. Zhenov on it again. Slipped the pass through. There was Ridley to pick it up. And Andrechuk checks his man. They do not get it out. Martin passes it back to Butcher. And he just threw it down the ice. That's going to be icing. They have played 5 minutes. And 11 seconds in the first period. 1-0.
In naming the all-new Mercury Mystique one of the 10 best cars, Car and Driver said you might easily mistake it for a much more expensive European sports sedan. But perhaps the most surprising quote of all is just $18,195 for this Mystique. Priced so much less than a comparably equipped Nissan Altima and Honda Ford, the competition has no comment. Mercury Mystique. Compare for yourself at your Mercury dealer today.
From inside the net. Chevelday got some of it, but watch this. Not enough of it, and it just gets over the line. Gardner puts it in anyway. As you can see, that's his stick play.
So 1-0 Toronto. 3:46 was the time of that Gardner goal from Hogue and Gill. Crowd thought maybe a penalty might have been called behind the play, but it continues to Andrechuk. Andrechuk check. got rid of the puck. On the other side is Butcher, keeping it in for the Maple Leafs. Butcher trying to get loose, can't get a shot away. And Greg Brown flipped the pass ahead. Through center ice and coming in is Dallas Drake with Brown. Shot kicked away by Rose. He's looking steady in the early going. Winnipeg has had 5 shots. This one off the net. Martin to Butcher. Butcher just rolled it across center ice. Andrechuk didn't see the pass. Come up behind him. Newman through the middle. Nearly a great play in for Eastwood. He would love to bang one here against his former team, I am sure. Newman goes back in his own zone. Turning away from Berg, who fell on the play. The lead pass through center. Olczyk. He got away. Olczyk threw it in. Eastwood was in front of the net. Olczyk, and here's Eastwood centering it. Cleared away from in front of Rhodes. He stops the shot. McCown couldn't put it by King. King falling. McCown back in there for Grant Jennings, the U.S. League, number 3. His first game for Toronto. Domi was bumped at center ice by Eastwood. Shot down into the lead zone. Jennings back. Icing called against Winnipeg.
Well, Terry Simpson, this is his 3rd game as the Winnipeg Jets' new coach. He's won both of them. He coached in New York for the Islanders. He coached in Philadelphia. He had a highly successful career with Prince Albert, Memorial Cup champions. He coached the Canadian World Junior Championships, but he's taking over a struggling team. And when you do that, Bob, you need a patient wife, a loyal dog, and great goaltending, and not necessarily in that order. Mike Eastwood, all 5 of his goals have been scored here at Maple Leaf Gardens, but they were in a Leaf uniform.
7 minutes gone in the first period. 1-0 Toronto. Ellis shot. Weak one. Stopped by Chevalier. Wired back of the net. Out the other side. Cleared all the way down the ice. Right in front of the net. Tkachuk. He was warded off to the corner, though, in time. Solani went after it. Tkachuk fights for it back in the net against Gill, and Gill won that little battle. And it's cleared away at the line, but not out. Kept in. Emerson tried to get loose, could not. Now Ellett has to come back. Tkachuk is watching him. At the line, Kentel shot. And down was Rhodes to make the pass. Save right in front again. Emerson fanned on that. And now Mike Craig will throw it ahead to Hendrickson. He's knocked down, but got rid of it. 8 minutes into the first period. 7-4 are the shots in favor of Winnipeg. Manson nearly got caught against Gartner, who has the only goal of the game so far. That was back at 3:46. Hogue now has to move quickly. Decides to turn and go back. Getting away from Dallas Drake. Leaves get together to get it up to Sundin. He knifes it down the ice. Way too far ahead of him, though, and he can't catch it. Now he has it. Sundin can't get on track, but here's Gardner again. Boy, nice save by Chevalier on that shot by Gardner. Heading for the far side. Butcher kept it in.
Well, Matt Sundin was not lucky to score because it was a very skillful goal. But he was trapped away behind everybody. He's in front of the net. Butcher makes a nice play to keep it in, and now Sundin takes over. And he nearly had Chevalier ripping his groin apart with the move. Fake lefty. Lay him down. Put it up into the top. A beautiful goal by a skillful player. Matt Sundin.
Yes, indeed. Beautiful goal. Sure, 2-0 Toronto. Boy, when you see a player in the National Hockey League move like that, score like that, really, It almost doesn't matter who the goaltender might be.
That could have been any goalie. Sundin's got that big long reach, that great patience, and then makes the killer move to score.
So it's 2-0 Toronto. That goal, number 20 in the season for Matt Sundin. 8:49, the time of the goal. And Butcher, the only assist. So Gardner and Sundin, 2-0 leads. We are coming up to the halfway mark of the first period. Through center. Craig Martin didn't get too far. Ellett tried a shot. Chabodet had it come off his pad, off the boards, and right back to him in the crease. And he smothers it.
Can you identify this burger at McDonald's? Here are some clues. 2 all-beef patties, special sauce. Lettuce, processed cheese. Pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. Not so fast, Smarty fast. You missed the bacon. It's called the Bacon Big Mac. Yummy. Satisfying your twin desires for bacon and a Big Mac. Enjoy it on its own or as part of an extra value meal. The Bacon Big Mac, April's taste of the month at McDonald's. Oops, my vacation, sorry.
Extra Gold, a simple case of one-shot weed control.
Back in Toronto with an update from Montreal. The Canadiens all over Pittsburgh in the first few minutes. Shot 6-0. Then on the 7th shot, Lyle Odeline from Benoit Brunet. 4-game point-scoring streak for Odeline. His 3rd goal of the year makes it 1-0 Montreal.
Home sweet home for the half.
Pittsburgh needs Tom Barrasso back to take a serious run at the cup. And you can see why in that goal.
Vanderbilt on the face-off. Couldn't control it. Gillen is pretty good in that department. Won it. And now he carries the puck out over the line. Up through center. Manson stepping up there. Kachuk couldn't handle the pass. Domi couldn't handle that one. Chabodet way out. Watch it. Vanderbilt was on him. Berg on the other side trying to pick it up. And now Solani. Teemu Solani tries to get it going for Winnipeg. Flipped in off the boards. Emerson just watching it go in there. He and Kachuk are in for checking. But it's Berg through center, and Emerson missed a chance. Todd Gill pulls through center ice. A good move to get away from 2 people and then shoot it in. The Leafs obviously wanting to make a change. They have done that, and Solani shoots it deep down. He wants to get off. 9:10 remaining in the opening period. It is Toronto 2, Winnipeg no score. Newman flipped it out over the line to center ice. Shot in there by Brent Thompson. Thompson ran over his man. They fight for it back to the net. The Jets stay on it. Gillen back to the line. And a shot right into the goal mouth area off a stick or 2. And Rhodes saw that in time. Hendrickson flipped it to center ice. Craig backs up with it. Leaves it there for Matt Martin. Butcher is with him on the defense. They get together to pound it in from center ice. And back out to center again. Winnipeg coming back. 8:15 left in the period. And the Leafs are leading 2-0. Craig Martin for Winnipeg. Flipped it ahead. Shut off. Couldn't get going. And here's Gardner. He has one of the 2 lead goals. He has Sundin with him. But the pass came behind Sundin. Winnipeg back in. Drake chasing the puck. And the Leafs just shoot it out. Sundin couldn't knock down a high pass. Dave Manson right in front of his own net with the pass, and it comes back out to center ice. 7:40 remaining in the first period. 2-0 Toronto. Jenov starts this play to Manson. He's been active for Winnipeg, but they have not been able to get a goal yet. They've had 8 shots. The Leafs 7. Few whistles, no penalties, so it's been clean so far. Now Eastwood for Winnipeg. Pass behind Quintal. He had to stop to pick it up, then shot it to the leaf line. Martin backs up. Leaves a good clearing play, but Wood's pass was intercepted. King left it there in the center ice area for Olczyk. He dumped one in on the net, and Matt Martin takes it from Rhodes. Here's Ridley. Up on the play is Butcher. Played it back into Ridley. Just missed a hit. And lost the puck. Olczyk. Backhand for Winnipeg. He had to wait outside the line. Eastwood had gone across the line. Would have been offside, of course. 6:35 left in the opening period. Goals by Gardner and Sundin. And Toronto leads this one 2-0 in the first period with 6:24 remaining.
Golly gee whiz, I'm on the road again. So I choose Choice Hotels, Canada's largest lodging chain. Always clean, comfortable, and affordable. Simply super. Okay, back it up. There in the corner. Golly jeepers, that's super clean.
Score with Choice Hotels. Great corporate rates at Econo Lodge, Friendship, and Roadway starting at $47. And now introducing free local calls.
That's just great hockey. I mean, hospitality. He's right, you know.
At Home Building Center, we see every home improvement job as a big job. Sir, what does big mean to you?
500 feet of fencing.
Whoa, big plans, man?
Oh, yeah, 10 houses to drywall.
Planning a big entrance?
No, I'm putting in a new door.
Ah, right. The Homewood Project Guide is available now at participating dealers with over 40 all-wood do-it-yourself projects from Select Home Design.
If you have big plans, we have friendly advice and a great price.
With Canada's largest group of building supply dealers, you can always plan on home.
20th goal of the season for Matt Sundin, giving the Leafs a 2-0 lead. Boy, he's been sharp.
I think he should play center. I know Gilmore's a centerman, and I know Ridley's playing well, but give this guy the whole ice with which to work, and he will get the job done. That's his 10th goal in the last 14 games.
And what a beauty that was. He pulled Chevelday to one side, waited for him to go down. Knew he was in there all alone. He had lots of time, but nevertheless showed a lot of patience until the goaltender was out of it.
Well, Bob, you know, up here it looks like he's got lots of time, but for a hockey player, time flies when he's in front of the net. But Sundin would never make it apparent that he was hurried on that goal.
6 minutes and 6 seconds remaining in the first period. Toronto jumping to the lead, 2-0.
Now the Winnipeg Jets are 4-11 on the road. They've only won 4 games. They've only won 5 out of 15 against their own division. And if they have any hopes of catching anyone for the playoffs, they got to start right now. They have won the last 2, but they're off to a tough start tonight.
Here's the captain, Keith Tkachuk. Against Vanderbilt, who won the draw. Ellen from the blue line. Just back last night after suffering a broken bone in his foot. So you would think he'd be a while getting his timing back. This is Solani. His pass doesn't get through. And Manson lost it at center ice. Tidoni up there. They got crossed up at the blue line, and the two Leaf players bumped into each other, and the play was called on the offside.
Canadian Tire is eliminating the GST. Now buy quality Motomaster car and light truck radial tires and pay no GST. But it won't last forever, so step on it.
5 minutes and 41 seconds remaining in the first period, and then Don Cherry will visit us on the Coach's Corner. Ford's Legends tonight. Hello, Canada.
Did you like this guy, Cole? Thought he was pretty good, didn't you?
Yeah, he was a great man, a great gentleman. Look what he started.
Yes,
he wouldn't be here today. Maybe.
Well, he never let the color man in. He's not as cooperative as you are.
Oh, well.
Just think, Foley, here you are, almost sitting exactly where he sat for so many years doing the job he did.
Not quite as well, I'll grant you. However, it's not a bad thought. 5 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the first period. And it is 2-0 Toronto. Winnipeg pressing for one here. They send 3 in deep. Jeannot. He's the big trigger man. Here it goes. But deflected wide of the net. Chopped at the net from the corner. And Butcher got rid of it. Newman stopped it at the blue line and kept it onside. A good play by Newman. But now it trickles out over the line. There's Hogue trying to feed it down to Gardner, who was behind everybody. Sundin allowed Butcher to step up to take it. Now here's Sundin. He saw Hogue up there. Sends him in for a shot. And he couldn't get the second, but Sundin overruled. Now he centers it. Chevalier kicked that back to the net again. Drake saw a hit coming and cleared it out quickly. The count to Gardner. Bumped off the puck. And Shannon takes over for Winnipeg. Stick handling out of his own zone through 3 Maple Leafs. The cool check back. Flipped ahead on the boards to center ice. And Jennings of the Maple Leafs. Ahead to Hendrickson. DiPietro missed it. Lead pass to King. He had to stop. Now Olchek ripped it high. And he was in there in a great spot to score for the Jets. At the line. Shannon's shot didn't get too far. Now he passes back into the corner. Goal! Right in front of the net. Very quickly. And Olchek was there. He just one-timed it. And Winnipeg is on the board. Their first goal.
Well, the Leafs had a good chance to get the puck out of the zone and couldn't do it. Craig goes to the point, turns away, the puck comes back to the point, and the Leafs never get control again. And some loose coverage in front of the net by Jennings allowed Eddie Olchek to put it in. When you go to the point as a winger, that's all you have to do. Stay with your point man. Never mind the shot. If you block it, good. But don't give him a second chance. And Eddie Olchek standing all by himself in front of the net put the Jets back in the game.
3 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in the first period. So the goal by Olchek, his 3rd of the season. Eastwood and Shannon assisted. 16-11 at the time of that Winnipeg goal. 2-1. The Leafs are leading. Coming in on the play was Brent Thompson. Sharp angle. He couldn't get to the net. And with 3:15 left in the period, Andrechuk starts Butcher back. Up for Wood. But he was stopped from moving in on that puck. Cleared right under the stick of Andrechuk. In with a shot. And around the net for another one. And Chevalier got over in time. And there might be a penalty shot called on the play.
Stefan Quintal fell on the puck in the crease on the wrap after the wrap around the tip. And the Toronto Maple Leafs will get a penalty shot. Pat Burns can select any of the players on the ice to take it.
And on the ice was Wood, Andrechuk, Ellis, Butcher, but Ridley. And here it is. If you fall on the puck in the crease, as Harry just mentioned there, Quintal, it's in the crease, got his glove on it. That's got to be a penalty shot. It's automatic.
I think Butcher's out of the mix for the choice here. I think Andrechuk is going to take it.
Andrechuk is getting ready. Chevalier and the goalie. Well, let's see this crowd. There's really nothing more exciting, not much more exciting than a penalty shot. There we go. The crowd fired up. 17th penalty shot call taken this year. You know how many goals? 3. All right. Andrechuk. Hold on. Just like a golfer on the 18th green at Augusta on Sunday afternoon. You're all alone. Andrechuk and Chevalier. Great save, Chevalier. Yes, sir. He backed up.
Anderchuk tried to go upstairs on the glove side, and Chevelday made the stop with his hand. I don't think Anderchuk was skating fast enough. I think you have to get that puck going toward the net faster than he is. Now, there's no use trying to tell Dave Anderchuk how to score. He scored a pile of goals. This was not one of his best opportunities. He didn't get much on it. He didn't get it up very high very quickly, and Chevelday made a nice stop. And now it's 3 for 17 on penalty shots in the National League. Goaltenders ahead.
Full marks for Chevelday. Played it cool. Was out and backed up. And then got the left hand out. Ridley now trying to backhand one out front. He did. Randy Wood's shot is blocked by Chevelday. 2:50 remaining in the period. 2-1. Toronto leading. Lost it at center. Solani boots it ahead. Anderchuk flipped the pass over Emerson's stick to get it out. And the Leafs dump it in. 2.5 minutes left. Quintal flipped it away. And here's Ridley stealing it. Anderchuk was in front of the net. Didn't get it to him. Allen tried. He couldn't get it there. So Anderchuk goes into the corner trying to dig it out, but Emerson whipped it away. Cleared it down the ice, and Tkachuk just missed it. Gilbert for Domi. And Domi's shot is wide of the Winnipeg net. The Leafs and the Jets make changes. 1:55 left in the period. The Cow drilled a high one in on the glass. The cool check. Got back out. Shannon, the other defenseman, had cleared it. Now it's offside. Called. And the Winnipeg blue line.
Some Canadians think of True Value as their locally owned neighborhood store. Truth is, we're part of 6,000 stores worldwide dedicated to value. Here's proof. This half-horsepower GSW pump comes complete with a 20-liter pre-charge tank, now just $269.97. Save $80 with a thermos gas barbecue. It has 42,000 BTU. Large cooking area, side burner, and shelf, now $219.97. True Value. The friendliness of a neighbor. The strength of a chain.
This Sunday on Hymn Sing, we'll remember the events of Palm Sunday and Passion Week with music that'll be both dramatic and touching. I'll share some readings and hopefully some meaningful thoughts, and we'll ask you to join in some of this season's hymns. Now, although we'll feature the music and singers from another season, I'm sure you're going to enjoy it just the same. We're looking forward to this program and to sharing it with you, so I hope you can join us this Sunday morning.
Back at the Montreal Forum, that's Vincent Damphousse along the boards. He'll send it to Pierre Turgeon, who, like Bill Mickelson, will go to a 5-iron here and just nestle it under Young from Damphousse and Recchi. Third goal is a half for Turgeon, his 16th on the year.
This is not amazing. We'll keep it posted on that game. That is what it's all about.
Well, Montreal has to win those home games. They got a lot more home than away, because if they don't, with their road record as it sits, they could be watching the playoffs instead of in them, and wouldn't that be something?
A minute 44 remaining in the first period here at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. I'm Bob Cole with Harry Neal here in the booth. Ron McLean and Don Cherry along, and of course they're getting set for the coach's corner coming up in a minute and a half. Toronto leading 2-1. Goals by Gardner and Sundin. Winnipeg again looking for another right here. Olchek has the Winnipeg Jets goal. Team at 16-11. Sundin down on all fours trying to move it away. Takes his man in on the boards. A weak shot in by Shannon. 1 minute left in the period. And this is his souvenir on a Saturday night. The puck cleared over the voice, and you never know. This has been a real quiet period, has it not? But you never know when it'll go. Not here, though, I don't think. We'll be back.
On the ensuing rush, watch Zamnoff, number 10, who gets a good shot away here. The puck was out of the Leaf zone. And then he, for some reason, I see Sundin gave him a little cuff on the back of the head. That would have been one of those fights between those two guys that went on for ages with no punches. Two skilled players, but not in that area.
The puck into center ice area. Hill tried to slap it in. It hit a stick and went over the glass again. 50 seconds left in the period.
Tim Chevelday, who has played very well last night, 2 wins. The book on him is that he comes out a long way to cut the angle down. So at the last minute, if you can make a pass or a fake shot, you might beat him. Happy Havelbulen sits behind the net in a seat. There's not enough room here at Maple Leaf Gardens, in the opinion of the Winnipeg team, for the goalie to sit in the bench.
So he's behind the glass, ducking.
2 was mustard, I heard him yell a minute ago.
30 seconds left in this opening period. Toronto 2, Winnipeg 1. Shots are 12-9 in favor of the Leafs, including a penalty shot. And a big save by Tim Chevelday. Andrichuk took the penalty shot for Toronto. Quintal had fallen on the puck, his hand on it in the crease. 8 seconds left. Running out the clock is Manson. Shooting at the center to Wolchek. Knocked down there. And that will do it for period number 1. And the shots remain, as I just mentioned, 12 to 9 in favor of Toronto. Don Cherry getting set for his fifth in the coach's corner. The score after the first period: Toronto 2, Winnipeg 1.
You are now free to operate all electronic devices.
What a hard-working bunch. And you're working harder than most. I've seen bigger screens on a calculator. Now, this is a nifty screen, but objects may shift during flight. And you're working too hard because, frankly, your hands are just designed wrong. Ooh, an IBM ThinkPad. See, now this is what it's like to fly first class.
Rice Krispies treats. Let's see. Melt marshmallows and margarine. Did that. Mix in Kellogg's Rice Krispies. Did that. Spread into pan and serve. That's it? That's the whole recipe? I'm done?
Kellogg's Rice Krispies treats are so crispy, chewy, and delicious. Everybody thinks they're hard to make. But with no long recipe and no baking, they're as easy as snap, crackle, pop.
Don't I get to whip something?
With Kellogg's Rice Krispies treats, all you have to do is be hungry.
Hey, Dad. I didn't know you could cook.
And perhaps a little modest.
Well,
Kellogg's Rice Krispies treats recipe. So good, yet so easy.
You're looking at one Canadian. At a time when building a business takes more hard work than ever. It's for him that Royal Bank developed a computer program called Big Idea. A way to help him put together a solid plan so his business can grow. We figured he could use a hand. After all, we got to be Canada's largest bank, one customer at a time.
They test car batteries here. They test pickup trucks here. And when they test yard machines, they go here, Dave Spivey's house. MTD tractors, chipper shredders, and lawnmowers tackle the toughest jobs. Look for MTD yard machines at retailers near you. MTD. Wow! I like it! MTD yard machines, best value on the Canadian landscape. Available at these retailers.
Coach's Corner with Don Cherry. Brought to you by Canadian Airlines. Building a better airline.
more flights to Japan than any other airline. It's only natural that we've made an impression on this part of the world. Just another example of how the people of Canadian are building a better airline.
Blue was after fish there in that water.
Speaking of Bull Terriers, how did you arrange for Ty Domi to become a Maple Leaf?
I don't know whoever did it, but I love the guy for doing it. It was Fletcher, and I'm going to tell you what happened. Do you remember the very first Coach's Corner? I come on here, and everybody was mad at me in the Leaf organization. I said, you are not...
the second and the third.
And the third week. But everybody's mad at me, but I'll tell you one thing. When I said they're not tough enough, they lost all those guys, Pearson, Clark, Lefebvre, Rouse. I think that it wasn't a lot. It wasn't like they were getting beat up. It was a little push in the face after a whistle, a little smack here, shoved around. They were being shoved around. And what happened was, I think it came to a head in St. Louis when Tardif took Burkowski and nailed him in the boards. Remember that icing? Nailed him in the boards. Now, who's going to pick him up? Todd Gill. The only guy who could go after him was Todd Gill. You don't want to lose Gill because he's their best defenseman. What are you going to do? I could see after the game, Pat going up the cliff. Would you get me somebody? What are we doing here? We had a tough team last year. Goes out and gets Domi, not too shabby. And by the way, let me tell you, next door here, right next door, they have a press conference. There was so many people wanting to talk to Domi after the game, they had to put a press room over here.
Last night, right, the Detroit game. But you know, Wendell Clark played with Gilmore. Would you play Ty on the top line? Can he do that role if he doesn't play on the front lines?
No, I would put him back. Don't put pressure on the kid. Play it cool, take it easy, let things come. I like the way Pat played him the other night. Hogue, Fletcher got Hogue, 330 goal scorers. I always like DiPietro. He got 10 playoff goals. Not too shabby. He gave up one regular. I like it. If anybody wants to dance now with the Leafs, they're going to dance with a super heavyweight.
By the way, Lyle Odeline, apparently, according to Dick Irvin, played 2 great games with Matthew Schneider down on the island. I'll get to Kirk Muller in a minute. I'm really upset about George Burnett. Last week, we ran a beautiful feature on the guy, and Glenn Sather, I'm sure, is flown home from California and wants to know what you think of what he's done there.
Well, I don't know if Glenn wants to know or not, but I'm going to tell him anyhow. It took a lot of guts to do it, and I knew this was going to happen. I was watching about 1:15 the last time they played L.A. Remember, I know the situation. Glenn says it wasn't to do with Corson. I say it was something to do with Corson. What happened was, I remember the game was about second period, and Dean Kennedy in front got an elbow penalty. The score is 6-0. I'm still up. You watch the game?
I didn't see it.
No. You people telling me about hockey. I'm watching a 6-0 blowout. Anyhow, it wasn't an elbow penalty, and Corson went nuts. He got a 10-minute misconduct, a 6-0 game. Why not? And he benched him the rest of the time, and I said, he's history. And you know, George, you got to think of something. You got to think of Mike Keenan. He went to New York. He got along with Messier. He went to St. Louis. He got along with Hall. George is a good coach. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking him. He will be back, but he got along. You cannot get in an argument. I told you this.
Yeah.
When he got in an argument with Arnott, he called him selfish.
Do you think he was dead from the word go because the players, the veterans at least, and even although Arnott's only a second-year guy, wanted Ron Lowe to be the head coach?
Well, I was going to bring that up. I don't know why Glenn didn't make him the coach right off the bat and give the kid a chance. He walks in. Everybody loves Lowe. We're going to see what Lowe can do. Everybody wanted him. Now he walks in the American League, a hot shot. He had a couple of strikes against him to start with. But he's a good coach. He'll bounce back. But always get along with your star. Mike Keenan knows that one.
How about the final thing that we have time for is Captain Kirk?
Well,
what's going on?
It's been a tough month for the Kingston trio, I'll tell you. Poor Dougie gets his nose broken.
What happened to you?
Oh, I'm going to get punched in the head and a few things.
Well, what's going on with Kirk?
And Kirk, he gets it. It's a sad situation. This guy is heartbroken. You saw him on TV crying. But desperate times called for desperate moves. Turgeon, they got Turgeon. The word on him is he plays what he wants to. Floats a little bit, not much, but he plays what he wants. Remember, he got benched by Al Arbor. But he will not float up there. He can score if he can't do anything else. He won't float in Montreal in that pressure cooker. I feel so sorry for both of these guys. You know that Dougie didn't have the year they expected of him, and Kirk. And I said to Rose, one time, I'm saying Rose, when they got made captain, I said, Rose, I see on the clouds, I see a storm. He said, will you shut up? You're always looking for storms. You're looking for trouble. Just shut up about it.
What'd you say to Rose when she said
Well, wait,
that?
what I was going to say is they were both made captains.
Right.
And they're such great guys. Instead of just playing the game, they were looking to solve the problem of both the clubs. And that's what happened to both of them. Kirk, I guess you got to go. I know you love Montreal, but you're going to have to go eventually. By the way, the money part, he doesn't get American money. He only gets $1.2 million American, so that kind of has something to do with it, too.
Is it true? Rose told me you wrote it down when those two were made captains.
I wrote it down and put it on the cover June 30th. They're in trouble.
She told me that. What did you say, by the way, when she gave it to you?
When she told me to shut up?
Yeah.
I said, yes, dear.
Good. I like it. And I do know that you put it up on the cupboard. She told me that, too. Of course, you thought they weren't captains. They were cabinet ministers. Don Cherry in the Coach's Corner on Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC. Way to go, Rose.
Coach's Corner with Don Cherry. Brought to you by Canadian Airlines. Building a better airline.
Garden, yards ahead with home hardware.
100% Canadian owned.
With 900 dealers coast to coast.
Guarantees a great price.
Like this landmark 20-inch lawnmower with 3.75 horsepower Briggs & Stratton engine and 9-position height adjustment. It's on sale now.
The best names, the best selection, a great price.
Plus, lots of friendly advice. Making lawn and garden a walk in the park. Great price, friendly advice at Home Hardware.
Everyone's cheering about Second Encore Music Store's big new location at 1324 Portage Avenue. Now there's more of all the things you love about Second Encore Music. More pre-owned CDs at just $9.99. More pre-owned cassettes at only $4.99. More quality pre-owned instruments, including school band instruments. At Second Encore, we also buy, sell, trade, and sell on consignment. And don't forget about our Signs of Recovery 12-step section. Second Encore Music Store, now open at 1324 Portage.
Annual weeds. You may not see them in your direct seeded or reduced tillage fields, but they're there. You may not think they can get ahead of your crop, but they can. You may not think you need to treat them before you seed, but you do. Now you can control a broad spectrum of annual weeds, plus blackgrass, for only $8.95 a liter, with Roundup herbicide. If you've only got annual weeds, it's under $4.50 an acre.
Who's behind the best family food value in town? Perkins. For breakfast, dinner, and everything in between. Perkins. Breakfast, dinner, and everything in between.
Did you ever hear the old saying, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is? Well, that pretty well describes most car commercials. But at Landau Lincoln Mercury, we don't sell that way. In fact, there is no hard sell at all. Just helpful, relaxed salespeople who will listen more than they talk. Manual air conditioning. Give you all the information you want and make sure the price you pay is a fair one.
Landau Lincoln Mercury. What a dealership should be.
The image.
Television, the drug of the nation.
Ours is the central business of the age and a tremendous force for good.
Moses Neimer presents TV, the television revolution, Sunday at 8 on CBC.
Tonight we continue our tradition of honoring those who've helped to foster hockey's rich heritage. This evening our focus is broadcasting giant Foster Hewitt on Legends. Brought to you by Ford of Canada, makers of the 1995 Ford Contour, the proud founding sponsor of the Hockey Hall of Fame and Museum.
Car and Driver has chosen their 10 best automobiles for 1995. Quite a select group. They all have the kind of safety features you would expect, like dual airbags, anti-lock braking systems, and reinforced body structure. They all have outstanding performance credentials, as you would expect. And they all have the kind of sticker price you would expect of a vehicle in such an elite group. All except one, the 1995 Ford Contour. It's nice to be in such good company, but not all the time.
Foster Hewitt never scored a goal, never made a save, never made a decision that affected an outcome. But he became a giant of hockey. He was the eyes and ears for hockey fans everywhere. For 6 decades, his broadcasting skills gave Canadians an insight into their heroes. Saturday nights, we gathered round the radio for Hockey Night in Canada. And when it moved to television and we saw Foster in his famous location, the Gondola, we all knew he was the man giving accounts of the greatest game there was. 1972, Foster called his greatest game in the legendary Canada-Russia series. A perfect cap to a wonderful career. Each and every one of us who followed hockey owe a great debt of gratitude to Foster William Hewitt. We honor him this evening on Legends, brought to you by Ford, makers of the Mercury Mystique, and proud founding sponsor of the Hockey Hall of Fame and Museum.
It's big, and it's coming for you. Taco Bell's delicious 7-layer burrito. This monster of all burritos will satisfy any big appetite. Seasoned rice, guacamole, 2 cheeses, beans, sour cream, lettuce, and tomatoes, all wrapped in a soft flour tortilla. And it's not alone. It has friends. The savory chicken or zesty beef 7-layer burrito, for limited time only at Taco Bell.
Grandview was started in the late 1800s by the Cookson family, one of the first early pioneering families. Our level of service that we provide, the people that we employ, are our greatest strength. We've stuck with the Advantage program because we receive maximum discounts. Our Advantage savings plans average 44 to 47%. I don't have to worry about whether our telephone system is working properly or whether we're receiving maximum discounts. I know we are.
The job is technical, but what we're doing for people is not. As a LensCrafters lab technician, basically I help people see better. We like to try to go above and beyond what somebody might expect. I'm glad that I work in an optical laboratory that's right there in the store so I can see what the result of my work is. LensCrafters can do everything that goes into a quality pair of glasses in about an hour. If I'm not going to have some pride in what I'm doing, then why do it?
LensCrafters, helping people see better 1 hour at a time.
Seeing is believing at your Ski-Doo dealer during Spring Break 96. Buy now and get up to $500 cash towards a new 96 Ski-Doo snowmobile with no payments until February 1, 1996. Plus, get special low Spring Break pricing. Spring Break 96. See the sleds, see the deals, see your participating Ski-Doo dealer for details before it's all gone. See your Manitoba, Saskatchewan Ski-Doo dealer today, or stop by Spring Tour 96 in Saskatoon at the Wheatland Complex on April 8th and 9th.
You know, being the best-selling vehicle in the country, bar none, makes you the target of everyone who thinks they've got a shot. So to stay number one, you've got to be ready to take on all comers, and your Manitoba Ford and Mercury dealers have a limited edition full-size Enforcer package to do just that. Driver's side airbag, rear ABS, 4.9-liter engine, styled steel wheels, and special Enforcer striping, $15,995. Yeah, I thought so. Sorry, guys, there's only room for one number one in these parts.
This portion of Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC, brought to you by Ford of Canada.
Bob Cole and Harry Neal back in the booth at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, and the second period just underway. Toronto leading 2-1. All goals in the first period, even strength goals. Good reason. No penalties called in a hockey game so far. And the Leafs on the attack right off the bat. Newman picked one up in front of his own net, cleared it away. Kachuk saw Solani go in there. Solani tried to break around Gill. But Gill got a piece of the puck and knocked it away. Emerson is on it. For Solani. And again Newman in deep. Kachuk tried to get a shot through. It was blocked. Bird hit him then. And the puck along the boards for the Leafs to bring it out. Domi put it across center ice. Kachuk turns back for Winnipeg. Tried to go in there around Gill again. Gill stayed with him and knocks him to the ice. Domi once more clears it for Toronto. Gets as far as center, takes a look around. Domi tried to go in, and it was fired back out by Mikulchik. Long shot. Rhodes to save. Again, it's cleared all the way down the ice. Ridley moving up for Toronto. Round the net to the far side with it. Left it for Andrechuk. He is checked. Got a stick on it, though. Andrechuk trying to center it. Ridley with him. Comes out. Ridley gets a shot. Sheldon to save through a crowd. And Ridley stopped it outside the line. Here's Butcher. And Quintal for Winnipeg. Around the net, played it away, but that backfired. Ridley saw it come. Ridley centered it. And a good play in front by Maston. Korolev shot it away. Shenov can't catch up to it. And again, the Jets come back. Andrechuk moving in there. He didn't see Wood inside the line. Offside. Well, Coach Pat Burns with some new players. And he had met with Ron McLean after the first.
Pat, your analysis of the first period.
Well, I thought we came out pretty strong. I think that line of Sundin, Gartner, and Hogue is a lot of speed. And they scored the 2 goals, but you could see the difference there. They were really on top of them. The Jets are playing a safe game right now. They're not trying to do too much, and they're just waiting for us to make a mistake to try to pop a goal, and they did that. So we're going to have to keep away. It's a big period for us. Second period, you can win the game in the second period.
And the coach mentioned the big line scoring. Gardner at 3:46 from Hogan Gill. Sundin from Butcher at 8:49. Olchek from Eastwood, and Shannon for Winnipeg at 16:11. 2-1. We're in the second period at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, and nearing the 3-minute mark of the second. Here's Gartner again. Moving up. Upended before he could get a shot. A neat hit inside the line by Shannon. Greg Brown will come back for Winnipeg. They had to stop it off the boards. Brown, a high rocket on the glass, and it gets all the way back to Jennings. Now here's Gill. And he lost it. Gartner did. King shot off the glove of Rhodes. He was out cutting the angle. Chris King went in with a pretty good chance. Now it's knifed in. Gill comes back against Martin. Jennings was dumped back there, and the play called now. We're getting our first penalty of the hockey game here in the second period. It goes to Craig and Martin of Winnipeg, roughing.
Well, the Leafs power play. Both power plays have been sitting on their hands without a chance to do anything. Here's the hit.
Might be 40.
Yeah. Boy, I don't know about that one, though. That hit took place at the icing line. I agree with you, Mr. Martin. That was a nice body check. And Jennings landed on the ice as he hit the boards. Rhodes made a nice stop on King. Chris King from a bad angle. Rhodes is out at the top of the crease and makes the glove hand stop.
So Craig Martin gets the first penalty of the game, if you're not counting that penalty shot.
Yeah, that's right. We better count that one.
Andrechuk, who...
is that a power play attempt?
Who missed it. We are nearing the 4-minute mark of the second period. 2-1. Toronto leading. Well, it was a power play for a second, but Andrechuk couldn't beat Tim Chevelday. Chevelday stood his ground and backed up just in time and made a nice glove save.
This is a big game for the Leafs. I know they're all big at this time, but the Toronto Maple Leafs, after tonight, have 11 games left. Only 4 of them here at Maple Leaf Gardens. And their road record is not one they're proud of. Coaching change in Winnipeg also involved the assistant coaches. And Randy Carlisle, former Leaf, is now giving Simpson a hand as the assistant coach.
Minute and a half left in the Winnipeg penalty. Leafs power play. Ellington Gill, the defenseman. Wood is up there in front, but didn't get the pass. There's Andrechuk. And Ridley is on the other side. He's number 7. And here he is. Takes it up over the line and jams on the brakes. That comes to the net. Left it for Ellett. And he won't shoot it. Randy Wood all the way back with Ellett. Bad angle for Wood now, so no shot. Andrechuk back to Wood. He fanned on it. Leafs keep it in. Good play by Ridley to steal it. Ellen turning away and backhanding it up behind the net for Wood to Ridley on the other side. Now Gill, he was moving. Nearly set up a break.
Boy, Winnipeg are dangerous shorthanded. They had 3 last night, maybe 4.
4. Nelson Emerson had 4 shorthanded points last night.
Ridley tried to go in. Manson broke his stick. The puck was cleared down the ice. Yes, 4 last night in their 7-4 win.
Terry Simpson was telling me before the game they should have had 2 more. They missed the empty net on one and had to break one another and didn't score.
Gardner playing the puck in behind the net. Went in after it. The Leafs power play now with only 5 seconds left on it. Sundin sets it up. McCown shoots it into the crowd. Penalty is over. Sundin back to the net again. Sundin, he's big and strong and clever. And he won the little joust and got it back to the line by the Jets. Good job killing the penalty. They had the Leafs on the outside of their box, inside their own line. Kept them out there. So nothing too dangerous for Shovelday from that first power play. Well, here's a hit and a play called.
Stefan Kintelkov tripped on the way to touch the puck on the icing. And I'm glad to see the smile on his face because he went in an awkward stance.
He's okay.
This is Larry.
And Harry, good morning.
Scruff and Larry, 97.5 FM, out of control.
Lays the lumber on Ridley. The stick broke. There was no smoke, or there would have been a penalty. And even jet planes have wobbles every once in a while, and that's the play I was mentioning before we went to commercial. Intel was lucky he wasn't injured on it. Whether he stepped on part of Manson's broken stick, only he knows.
We are coming up to the 6-minute mark of the second period. Manson gets a shot now. That was a pretty hard shot and a nice save by Rhodes. He shut out the blocker, clearing it away into the corner, and the Leafs dump it down the ice. Off Hendrickson. Shannon back first. An icing called against Toronto. With the Leafs leading 2-1. We have 14:05 left in this period.
Daryl Shannon, who played some hockey here in Toronto. His brother Darren had stomach surgery and is out for the season. A hard-nosed winger for the Jets, and I'm sure they miss him. Daryl was drafted by the Leafs in the second round and a Windsor Spitfire product. Played very well this year, Shannon, after never being able to get into the lineup for the Leafs. He's got 8 points. He's a -1. A couple of assists last night in their 7-4 win over the Canucks.
So the face-off to the right of Damian Rhodes. Damian Rhodes is having Martin was hit hard in back of the net. Slow getting up. He's on his feet again, though. But I believe going to the Leaf bench. As the Jets come back to pick it up in their own zone. Korolev got it away, and Zhenov moving in, dropping it. Great shot. Good save again by Rhodes. In back of the net, trying to dig it out is Korolev once more. Out front it comes, and Rhodes hanging on to that post. Playing a steady game in goal for the Maple Leafs tonight. Damian Rhodes. I guess relieved after the 3 o'clock trade deadline yesterday.
6 or 7 players in every team came from underneath their bed, and they had the phone off the hook. It's a very stressful day for players. Martin took an awful wallop there from Dallas Drake behind the net. And here it is here. Martin a little careless sometimes about the opposing player who's going to levy the hit. I mean, he had to hear him coming. He saw him coming and ducked to get out of his way as Dallas Drake threw a bone crusher at him. Dallas Drake against the Leafs this year in the 3 games they played before tonight has 2 goals. And he had a good chance on that shift as well. He tries to use Garth Butcher as the screen and does. And Rhodes found it, stopped it, was going on the short side corner.
Number 8, Domi. Flipping the puck behind the goal. Quintal got it out. The Leafs pound it back in, but they have to get back on side before they can move on it. So the Jets are allowed to clear it down to Solani. He's over the line. Bird took him in on the boards, and it's shot back to the Winnipeg blue line. Emerson trying to go in. That's McCown. Getting it back out for Toronto. Domi over to pick it up. He and Quintal bumped together. Domi gets in front. Lifted a high one over the net. And then ran into the net. And knocked it off. So the faceoff will come outside the Winnipeg line.
Kellogg's presents Heads Up Hockey with Brett Hull.
Hi, I'm Brett Hull. Preparing for the game begins long before you arrive at the rink. Getting plenty of rest and sticking to a healthy diet ensures you'll be ready for anything come game time.
Yeah?
Daddy, I wanted to eat something with you.
Sorry, big guy, no time this morning.
Look in your case.
Kellogg's Nutri-Grain cereal bars, now in peach.
Looks like some little surprise from Mommy.
I got one, too.
Delicious crust with whole grain oats with real fruit filling and low in fat.
Peach.
Do you love it?
I do.
We're having a good time, Daddy.
Yeah.
Can we do lunch?
Kellogg's Nutri-Grain bars as part of the complete breakfast. Good food on the go.
An unbalanced diet or playing a big game with too little sleep can affect your on-ice performance. Check out Canada's food guide and books on fitness to get your body ready for action.
Heads Up Hockey, presented by Kellogg's.
76 Maple Leaf draft, wearing 28 with the long hair. Randy Carlyle won the Norris Trophy as a defenseman in Pittsburgh. Well, look at him now. He's lost his speed, he's lost his hair, and he's probably not making the same kind of money, but a spirited guy. He'll be good for the Winnipeg Jets. They need a little life on that bench, I think.
Toronto 2, Winnipeg 1. Domi in on Numanen. Domi fell and got back up very quickly, but Numanen was allowed to pull away from Vanderbilt and get it ahead. Emerson racing in for Winnipeg. He gets in the slot with a backhander. Kachuk in front of the net. Covered effectively by Gill. Domi rolls it down the ice. Now icing. So they have to pull back for it. And a cool check. Shout out to Kachuk. He's back in and coming for the net. He decided to stop and pull back in front of Jennings, but it didn't work. Jennings trying to clear it out, and he can't. Gill picks it up and strikes away. And it's intercepted by Olczyk. King missed the pass, but picked it up on the boards and shot it wide of the net. Here's Sundin. Gardner now. Gardner dropped it. Sundin. And Gardner has to take the rebound, trying to dig it back in front. Sundin again. Carried in on the boards by Olczyk. It is Hogan trying to pick it up. Hogan. He's tied up. Nobody can reach the puck, which is loose. And Gardner flipped it around the net. Eastwood was there for Winnipeg. Coming out a long pass, going astray down the ice. But they wave off icing. Here's Hogan. He waited too long. Olczyk takes it. Olczyk left it there. McCown couldn't clear it. Quintal shot. He hit the goal post. Quintal again. This one over the net. And the Leafs hang on and get it up there at center. Sundin, a close call at center. Breaking in, but offside.
Introducing the very friendly, very quick, and very safety-conscious four-door Neon. We thought you'd get a kick out of this little number. Say hello to the Neon Sport Coupe, if you can catch it. Neon, available in regular and new extra spicy. Now at your Dodge and Plymouth dealers.
Sundin picking it up at center ice, but just offside. A very close call, and he was flying. It is still 2-1 Toronto. Goals by Gardner and Sundin in the first. Olczyk in the first. And here in the second, we're nearing the halfway mark. Jets getting the puck out over the line and up to center. Korolev moved in with Shenov. Ridley stayed with him. The two of them go to the boards. Korolev trying to center it. Big pile up in the corner, and the puck squirts loose. But Shenov fell on it, and the faceoff undoubtedly will come outside the Leaf line.
Well, Mike Ridley's been a valuable addition to the Toronto Maple Leafs. He started a little slowly, I thought, but 29 points, leads the team in assists, 9 points in his last 11 games, and a conscientious, responsible defensive player. And here's a good example. He knows it's Zamnov. He knows Zamnov is third in the NHL in scoring, and he takes him right into the corner and puts him down. The recognition was the first good decision Ridley made, and then he followed it up with good technique at taking away the Winnipeg top scorer on a rush.
We've hit the halfway mark of the second period now. Score from the first, standing up. Andrechuk trying to break in again. Can't do it. At the blue line, he's stopped. McCown had a hunch to move in, backed off in time as Thompson picked it up and skated away quickly. McCown got a piece of him. Those two fall to the ice, and Andrechuk saw Ridley up at center. Ridley is coming in. Got across the line, and Manson made a good play on him. Thompson trying to bat it loose from McCown. Put his hand on it. Got back up, cleared it off the boards, and a shot in wide by Gillen. Manson again kept it in deep. Here's Jennings. Pass intended for Ridley. Intercepted near center ice by Mikulczyk. McCown again bumping with Solani. Tkachuk got in as far as the Leaf line and kept going. Tkachuk centered it. And Vanderbilt comes back with Randy Wood. And it's Tkachuk away from Wood. Solani up. Solani finding Rome in. Took a shot and a nice save by Rhodes again. He's made some pretty good saves in this hockey game for the Maple Leafs. Berg panned on it. Around the net he goes. Solani getting out. He's up with Emerson. Solani can skate. In on Ellen. Now Emerson. And again, Damian Rose had everything figured. Made the right move and the stick save.
Welcome to Dodge Country, home to the Prairie's most exciting truck event. In Dodge Country, Ram offers the industry's most powerful choice of engines, the largest, quietest cab, and standard driver's side airbag. Or check out the 95 Dakota with an available Magnum V8, plus the safety of a standard driver's side airbag and side door impact beams. Hurry down to Dodge Country and make your best deal. Only at Canada's Truck Stop.
Closed captioning for tonight's game is sponsored by Household Finance.
Why waste time with a tractor like this when you can own a Mastercraft tractor from Canadian Tire? It has shift on the go to perform smoothly in tight areas without stopping, so you can finish your lawn in no time. Which, all things considered, makes buying a Mastercraft tractor sound pretty good. Put it on your Canadian Tire credit card now and don't make any payments till August. There's a lot more to Canadian Tire for a lot less.
Toronto 2. minutes and 28 seconds left to play in the second period. At Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, the Jets trying to tie it up here. They shoot it in deep. Gill will move in on it before Korolev could get there. Sundin in front of the net, couldn't get it out. Again, he took a swipe at it. And Hogue cleared it as far as the line, but not out. Kept in by Drake. Shenov knocked to the ice. Made a good play, though, from his knees. The Leafs having some difficulty with the forechecking Winnipeg Jets at this point in the second. Just under 8 minutes left. It is Allen. Gardner watching that one. One on the glass and into the crowd. And, well, Ron McLean has a guest for us now. Here's Ron.
Thanks, Bob. With Ken Baumgartner. It'd be great to see you back soon. How's the story?
Well, I'm getting tired of watching these games from the stands. It'll be 10 weeks on Tuesday. It's coming along well, so that's the good news. I guess my return wouldn't be imminent yet, but playoffs is a long time, and when you can play till July 1st, there's still hope I'll be back this season.
We were talking, Ken, about the changes in Toronto. 18 of the skaters from last year's final series against Vancouver. There's 13 new faces in the lineup tonight. How is it in the room in terms of getting all these new faces together?
Well, there have been a lot of changes and some more at the deadline, but that seems to be the way the game goes these days, and the guys will have to bond real quick because playoffs is around the corner, and now there's no excuses because all the parts are there.
Hang in, I want to ask you one other thing, but Bob, I'll send it up to you for the play for a moment.
All right. The Bomber is optimistic about his health and about the fortunes of the Maple Leafs. Talking about July 1st. And, of course, he means the Stanley Cup final playoffs. Let's go back again. Hear more from Ron and Bomber.
How about Terry Simpson? Fans in Prince Albert would be very unhappy if I didn't ask you about him.
Certainly, and Dave Manson as well. I expect Dave to flourish now that Terry's in charge full-time here. And he's got the type of players he wants to work with in Winnipeg, and give them time, they'll be all right.
Well, it's super to hear the shoulders coming along. Can't wait to see you back. Thanks, Ron. Here's Ken Baumgartner of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Fellas.
Toronto 2, Winnipeg 1. 7:25 left in the second period. Chevrolet has not been too busy in this period. Rhodes has made some.
The shots are 7-1 for Winnipeg. The chances to score here in the second period are 3-1. So neither team is showing me much in the way of intensity when the playoffs, as Kenny Baumgartner just mentioned, are around the corner. I know it's a tough doubleheader for Winnipeg to play when they played last night in Winnipeg. They didn't leave after the game because of the time difference, and they'd have to land in Hamilton. They came in this morning. Toronto played last night, but they practiced this morning. But it's been a lethargic effort by most players on both teams, and the chances to score in shots show it.
Manson will just roll the puck in behind the Leaf net. And he heads off to the Winnipeg bench. Vanderbilt takes it from McCown and gives it back to him. That play won't move it out. This one will. Vanderbilt skates with it to center ice. And Solani took it away from him. Solani shoots it in, but he's alone on that play. So McCown could take the body. Allowing Butcher to go for the puck, which he did. Solani made a good move that time to get it away. Long shot in by Shannon. No problem for Rhodes. 2-1 Toronto. Domi up over the Winnipeg line and flipping it into the corner. Brown went in there, but it's Solani who had a chance to clear it. Jennings shot, big rebound, and cleared away from in front of the net. Jets get it to center. Dave Ella near his own blue line. Kachuk watching him. Got it up to Domi. He lost it. And the Jets pick it up near center ice, and Shamnov was pumped. And Domi shot it in. He's trying to get off. Shannon around his own net. Nice pass out over the line, and two Jets are on it. Shamnov coming in, dropping it. Here's the shot, and Rhodes saw it all the way. And he just held it. Dallas Drake tested him. Not a hard shot, but right on the net.
Well, Ty Domi, who's known more for his body checking than his back checking, made a nice play on his buddy. And an old teammate, Timo Solani. One thing Ty Domi did not want to get into was a foot race with Solani. And on the back check, he got a stick between the legs of Solani and twisted him around and avoided the foot race that I think Ty would have come second in.
Almost everybody would come second in that race.
Ty's in a large group of guys that would finish second. Although Solani has not shown that speed that we saw so often 2 years ago and for the first part of last year. And I know he's got an injury that he's putting up with, so he's not 100%.
Sundin. His shot, a good low, hard shot, but off the goal. McCown all the way back to give it to Gill. Jamnoff for checking Gill. It's whacked off the boards to center ice and back to the Winnipeg line. Newman to the right side. Korolev giving a bump, and the Jets carry on. Rhodes down, covering up. They keep it in. Big shot by McCoolchuk. Penalty going to be called now against Toronto. Maybe Sundin, we'll see. Grab the stick, maybe. Penalty called against Toronto. Sundin.
People everywhere are having fun playing and saying Tim Hortons. Roll up the You could win one of 15 Neon Sport Coups.
Are you serious?
Yes, we are. Win 5,000 Sony CD stereos and over 7.5 million Tim Hortons prizes.
Thank you.
Roll up the rim to win. If it's under the rim, you win.
All kinds of cool stuff.
So roll up the rim to win today.
Why do so many Honda Accord owners come back to Honda, car after car after car? It could be the Accord's adept handling or state-of-the-art engine technology. Or maybe it's the comfort of knowing that the Accord's resale value tends to tip in the owner's favor.
All right, the penalty is to Gill for holding the stick. I could have thought for sure it was Sundin.
Well, it was Gill, but watch this. It was also Sundin. Sundin's got it now, and it must be a nice stick to hang on to, because watch what Gill does. He grabs it. That's 4 gloves on the stick.
So Gill gets the call for the penalty. Too many men holding the stick.
That's right. Could have been a double penalty. 2 guys holding the stick.
4:40 remaining in the second. Gill in the penalty box. Even off at 15:07. It is 2-1 Toronto. Winnipeg with a chance to tie her up. Kachuk going in. Ridley fired it on the boards in the corner. Newman stopped it at the line and flipped it ahead. Coming back to Newman. Ian Shamnov. Ahead from Shamnov. And back to Shamnov. No shot. Newman maybe. Here it is. Nice save by Rhodes. He got out that right pad. Made a big stop. 4 minutes left in the period. 1:10 in the penalty to Toronto. Leafs are leading 2-1. Jets can't keep it in. Look out, Vanderbilt is up there. And so is Ridley. Vanderbilt in front of the net, but he couldn't get the pass. Here's Ridley. Ridley wanted it for it. And the Leafs get a short-handed goal and go up 3-1.
Well, good hustle by Vanderbilt as he picks the stick up of Shamnov. And then for reasons that no one knows, Newman goes to Vanderbilt instead of paying attention to Ridley, who shoots the puck. 2 people went to Ridley. Ridley steps by both of them. And it was a real faux pas on part of the 2 Winnipeg power play point men. And it cost them a goal, and a big goal at that, with 3:48 to go in the second period. A shorthanded goal. The Jets won the game on them last night, and they may lose it tonight on it.
6:20 15-12, the time of the goal by Ridley, and that will be an unassisted goal by Ridley. And for that effort, you would have to say maybe it should be an unassisted goal. Great work by Ridley to score that one. It's the second shorthanded goal this year. 3-1 Toronto. Manson ahead on the boards and back to Manson. They're still on the power play, remember? Long shot. Roll, juggle out, and held on, and he was stopped. And the play called. Could be interference in the goaltender. I believe the referee made a move on that. Then again, there was a cross-check thrown in front of the net, and it may be a lead going. McCown seems to be fingered by the referee, and I think he's going.
He cross-checked Dallas Drake from behind as Drake kind of made a short attempt to bat the puck loose from the glove of Damian Rhodes. Have a look at it. It's a point shot by Quintal. Rhodes has got it. And you can see that Dallas Drake took the cross-check from behind after the whistle had gone. So the Leafs are going to be down 2 men for 24 seconds. And this gives the Winnipeg Jets a real opportunity to get back in this game.
They have to seize this opportunity now. As we mentioned at the top of the show, 4 points out of the playoffs in the Western Conference coming into this tussle tonight at Maple Leaf Gardens against the Leafs. And now with a 2-man advantage and down 2 goals, you have to say they must get one here. 3:10 left in the second. Zhenov at the blue line. Ahead to Solani. Zhenov shoots. Rhodes saved it. And they knock it in, but I believe the whistle is gone.
I think it went in the first time.
It sure looked like it.
But they'll be over to the video goal judge on this one. The Jets think it went in the first time and are betting it went in the second time. Al Daw in the video replay booth is already looking at it. A bullet shot from number 10 Zhamnov. You can't quite tell, but that looked like it hit in behind Damian Rhodes, although I thought I heard the ping of the crossbar.
Well, this is the thing, Harry. That shot was high, granted. Rhodes kind of looked to his midsection and looked as if he had a piece of it, but it could have gone by him off the crossbar. They're going to check it on the video play upstairs.
I've often wondered if it takes a long time. Well, that didn't go over the line. That one hit the crossbar. And then the Jets say they scored after.
But that's what I was going to say. Trottier had called the play and had his arm up. Now he has to go to the review on this, no doubt. But I believe the first one, Harry, I believe when the puck came down, I'm not sure that Trottier had called the play.
Well, I think Trottier's going to say, if it didn't go in the first time, I blew the whistle. And upstairs, they don't know when the whistle was blown, but they know, as we could see on the replay, it hit the crossbar and came down
there it is.
Outside the net. Now it goes in, but has the whistle blown.
Right there where the goalie went to the ice. There's the puck. And Rhodes went down. Now, it goes across the line. There's no doubt about that. The only thing we don't know is if Trottier saw that and whether he had called the play before that. No goal. You see, it hit the crossbar. Rhodes jumped on it. It was in the crease. And Trottier had his arm up. I thought he had and called the play. So no goal.
So the argument was on the initial shot, not the rebound. And that's why it is no goal, because the replay shows you that had the whistle not gone, the puck looked like it went in. How do we ever get along without that video goal judge?
I don't know.
He's going to win the Hart Trophy this year in the league.
3:05 remaining. Winnipeg needing one here. 8 seconds left in the 2-man advantage. Newman and shot. Scores! They got that one by him with no problem. Might have been deflected in front of Rhodes. At any rate, a good shot from inside the line. And the Jets get one. And more importantly, 4 seconds left in Gill's penalty when it went in.
Looks like number 7, Tkachuk, got his stick on it and deflected. Newman takes the shot. Maybe a league player deflected it. Somebody did, though, because you can tell by the expression that Rhodes gives you that he thought he had it, and then it went by him. So you're right, though, Bob. They get now 1 minute and 40 seconds on the regular power play because they scored before the two-man power play came up.
All right, well, so it was a good move by Newman. Number one, to put in a good shot, but get it away quickly. He sensed the penalty. The first penalty was almost over, and they scored before it had elapsed that time. So now, they remain on the power play. Well, 1:30 left in the penalty to McCown. It is 3-2 Toronto. Tkachuk setting it up. And another try by Newman, a little bit too high. Rhodes picking that out. Newman let her go again. Rhodes makes the save, and Berg will shoot it down the ice. McCown has 1 minute and 10 seconds left in his penalty. It is 3-2 Toronto. The goal by Newman on the power play. Olczyk and Tkachuk. 17:03 the time of that goal. Second for the Jets tonight. So they are back within one. And they dump it in. Olczyk is chasing it. Rolls out of the net. Clearing it on the boards for Berg. Vanderbilt over there. Can't stop his man. Here's a chance. The shot by Solani. And a big save by Damian Rhodes. Solani had time. And he had room. Rhodes had to come over quickly. Made a big save. Quintal and Solani get in. Quintal to Solani. He'll wait now. Now the shot. Rhodes to save. And the Leafs are going to clear the zone again with 20 seconds left on this power play for Winnipeg. Down by a goal and 1.5 minutes left in the second period. Toronto hanging on here. And Berg clears it. 5 seconds left in McCown's penalty. And now it is over. With 1:15 remaining in the period. Gillen to King. King is coming in. The setup. And the shot blocked by Jennings. He fell in front of the shot from Drake. Good play.
Canadian Tire is eliminating the GST. Now buy quality Motomaster car and light truck radial tires and pay no GST. But it won't last forever, so step on it.
Jennings makes a nice shot block. Dave Ellen stood up at the blue line and got beaten, and it was a 2-on-1. And the Winnipeg Jets have come to life offensively. Let's have a look at that goal again. Here's why they gave it to Newman and not Tkachuk. Number 4, Ellen. It hits his stick and changes direction and handcuffs Rhodes.
That goal by Newman when they had a two-man advantage. Now Newman again. Testing Rhodes. He makes the save into the final minute of the period. And the play is stopped again.
Penalty coming up to the Winnipeg Jets. Number 15 for interference. So the power play, which just ended, Randy Gillen puts the Winnipeg Jets with 57 seconds left into the situation. Here it is right here as he hooks Benoit Hogue from behind and pulls him to the ice. The Toronto Maple Leafs, 3 shots this period, 2 chances to score. The Winnipeg Jets, 16 shots, 7 chances to score. So the Leafs are flirting with giving a game back to Winnipeg that it looked like they owned.
They were up 3-1. Two-man advantage, though, and Newman scored for Winnipeg from Olczyk and Tkachuk. 17:03, they're back in it. 3-2 is the score now. We're in the final minute of the second period. Leafs on a power play. Elliott shot. Drilled low and wide of the net. Hogue takes it off the boards, back of the net with it. Sundin gives it to Gill. His shot blocked. Sundin again. Can't handle it cleanly. It is Hogue around the net. Gardner and Sundin up front. It is Hogue trying to set up Sundin. Back to Hogue. And Gardner. Gardner coming back, looking up the line. Now, Gardner decides to shoot it. The big rebound. In back of the net with 12 seconds left of the period. And Todd Gill gets in position. No shot. To Gill. Shot. Tipped in front. Hogue just missed tipping it in. Hogue is back at the goal with Sundin taking over 1 second left. The shot. And the horn. And the period ends with Winnipeg getting to within a goal of the Toronto Maple Leafs. And the Leafs on a power play as the period ended. And 1 minute and
seconds remain in Gillen's penalty. Shots after 2 periods, 26 by Winnipeg, 16 by Toronto. And coming up, after 40 minutes, the Satellite Hot Stove with Ron McLean, John Davidson, Scott Morrison, and Jim Houston. And the score after 2 here in Toronto, the Maple Leafs 3, the Jets 2.
Canadians think of True Value as their locally owned neighborhood store. Truth is, we're part of 6,000 stores worldwide dedicated to value. Here's proof. Clean up with this sturdy right-way bow rake, half price, $6.47. And protection is easy with this Manta 8x10 tarp, 50% off, $4.97. Rubbermaid's roughneck garbage can holds 77 liters and is $5 off. True Value. The friendliness of a neighbor. The strength of a chain.
Hey, who's that?
It's nobody we know.
It's Hank. Sure, I thought he'd trading his old GMC.
He had that baby for years. Worked it every day.
Wow, look at this machine.
Pretty roomy. You can really stretch out in this. Pretty fancy, Hank. Got a whole new interior.
And an airbag, too.
The 1995 Sierra.
Won't let me in. Says I have to take off my boots first.
It's big, and it's coming for you. Taco Bell's delicious 7-layer burrito. This monster of all burritos will satisfy any big appetite. Seasoned rice, guacamole, 2 cheeses, beans, sour cream, lettuce, and tomatoes, all wrapped in a soft flour tortilla. And it's not alone. It has friends. The savory chicken or zesty beef 7-layer burrito. For limited time only at Taco Bell.
Don't ask me what makes a relationship. How's my partner over there? She does all the work. She's good looking, utterly dependable, great with the kids, totally trustworthy, rain or shine, and she never ever asks for the sports section while I'm reading it. Is that perfect or what? But hey, ask her yourself. I gotta warn you though, she's the quiet type.
Toyota Corolla, quite possibly man's best friend.
Now get 4.9% financing on selected vehicles during Red Tag Days at your Toyota dealer. Hurry.
Hi, I'm here to pick up my Grand Prix.
How about a new Altima, sir?
A 4-cylinder Altima? No thanks.
Okay, how about an Intrepid?
No standard ABS. Pass.
Taurus?
I prefer the Grand Prix.
At $21,980, Grand Prix comes with a powerful V6, ABS, dual airbags, and all these standard features. Some people can be talked out of their Grand Prix for anything.
Camry? An Intrepid? No, I said that.
Sure, it's got a couple of dings and dents. But let's face it, rain or shine, I work this truck every day. It's as tight and powerful as the day I bought it. Geez, that was over 11 years ago. I just wish Barb would stop asking me when I'm going to trade it in. Trade it in? It's not even broken in. Over the long haul, nothing beats the strength of experience.
After 40 minutes. Brought to you by Owens Corning. We make the difference.
Need 'em, want 'em, got 'em. That was the refrain yesterday. We'll discuss the NHL trade deadline next on After 40 Minutes.
This evacuation vehicle is not protected by a 70,000-mile warranty. It's protected by a glass fiber that's stronger than steel. Owens Corning. We make the difference. Whoever said it's a cold, cruel world never had our insulation. Owens Corning. We make the difference.
After 40 minutes ought to be that length to address all the trades. Scott Morrison of the Toronto Suns with me here at Maple Leaf Gardens, and our handsome correspondents, as always, today in New York City and Calgary. JD, let's start with you and the New York Rangers. What's going on?
Well, kind of surprising, Ron, that they didn't acquire a second-line center. That's what everybody thought Neil Smith was going to do. I understand they tried very hard to get Mike Ricci out of the Quebec Nordique organization. Quebec needed a quarterback for their power play, so Sergei Zubov was going to be their choice. And Mark Messier today is not very happy. The Rangers and Quebec, in doing their discussions, I understand that the Quebec organization called up Zubov's agent yesterday afternoon, the day of a very important game against the Islanders for the Rangers. And the agent was asked about Zubov and whether he'd go and whether he'd play hard if he got up to Quebec. Well, the agent then called Zubov, who was sleeping, and it was a day of a game. And the Rangers ended up losing. Zubov was out of focus and I guess quite shaken by it. So there's some thought that the Rangers are saying, and the players are upset, that maybe tampering was part of this whole scenario on behalf of the Quebec Nordique. I'm of the opinion...
What's wrong with phoning guys to find out if they're going to play? I mean, in this day and age when players are making so much money, you better be sure that that guy wants to play for your team before you make a deal for him.
Yeah, but the Rangers themselves took care of their own players. It's a day of a game. Maybe they shouldn't have the trade deadline on the day of a game. Why should the Quebec organization be involved with bugging a Ranger player on the day of a game? I mean,
well, you make a good point there, because last night the Vancouver Canucks were emotionally drained. There was nothing left for a hockey game against Winnipeg. They just lost so many players, including a great friend, Greg Adams. I don't think there should be games on the deadline anymore either.
I think they're just upset they woke him. Could have been a sleeper trade, though. Scott, what did you notice about the deadline?
Well, I think there was a lot of activity in the West, not a lot in the East. And I think if you're in Toronto, if you're in Detroit and Vancouver, you feel pretty good about your chances this spring, because look at Dallas, no Modano, Chicago, no Rona, Calgary, no Gary Roberts, and those three teams didn't do a lot to improve themselves, if anything, and the other three teams did make some significant deals. So with that door swinging wide open again, as it did last spring, I think those teams are poised to make a run.
Do you like what the Leafs did?
I do. I think they added a little bit of talent. The one area I'm not sure they addressed that they could have used some help was maybe some toughness that can play on the blue line, but a lot of teams look for that, so maybe it's just not out there.
Grant Jennings is that, but maybe you need more, I guess that's what you're saying, that can play. How about the Courtnall-Adams deal in Vancouver? How's that being received in B.C., Jim?
Well, with mixed emotions, because the Canucks lost a great friend, and is a BC boy, and Greg Adams, who goes to Dallas. But it's a great story in that the Courtnalls are reunited. Russ and Jeff are very excited about playing together for the first time in a dozen years since they were line mates with the Victoria Cougars. Their family's very excited about it. In fact, Russ was so excited about the deal that he flew into Calgary last night and was waiting at the airport when the Canucks charter arrived from Winnipeg so he could meet the guys and be with his brother. And he was in the lineup today. He'll be on a line with Jeff and Trevor Linden, so they'll put the Courtnall brothers together right away, and they're extremely excited about being reunited.
What about Hirsch, John, going to Vancouver for Lafayette?
Kind of surprising to a degree. Then when you stop and think about it, Corey Hirsch wanted out. He wasn't playing. He's been a terrific minor league goaltender. He just wants to play. The word now has it that he may be going to the Canadian national team for the rest of this season. Ron Smith is one of the coaches in Vancouver. He coached Corey and in Binghamton, the Rangers American League farm team, and I'm sure he was very high on the goaltending talents of Corey Hirsch. Remember this, though, the Rangers have a kid by the name of Cloutier. He was their first rounder in the last draft. He played on the Canadian junior team that won the World Championships, and the Rangers are real high on him. The other thing to look at, where's the market out there for young goalies? Carey shows up in Washington, and all of a sudden their goaltending worries are taken care of. Locker does the same thing in Boston. Trevor Kidd's done the same thing in Calgary, and there's just not much of a market. They took Lafayette back from Vancouver, and they're hoping that he'll get
What about the Islanders or the Jets, though? Wouldn't they...
Islanders won't deal with the Rangers. They just won't do it. They're across town. They will not take a chance in dealing with the Rangers.
Maybe they're doing
The Canucks couldn't believe their good fortune in that a goaltender like Corey Hirsch was available, and they weren't looking to make that deal, but found out he was available, so they went for it. They think he might be the best goalie not playing in the NHL. But do you notice around the league that teams like Vancouver, Chicago, Calgary have picked up extra goalies? Do these guys know something that we don't? Are they getting ready for an expansion draft?
Look for it, Huey. Next year, December, when the governors get together for their annual meeting, that's going to be at the top of the list on their agenda, and I think you can look in 2 years down the line that we're going to have at least 2 more teams. There's 6 or 7 sitting there right now with checks in their hand ready to come into the league, so we may have some general managers smarter than the others.
Why didn't Corson or Ranford move?
Well, Corson was a situation. They didn't get an offer that was suitable, and obviously Glenn Sather made a decision that it was easier to move the coach than some of his best players, and he can always make those deals down the line.
And what about Kirk Muller? What are you hearing?
Well, he was very upset not going, or having to leave Montreal, rather, and it's also a case of money being at the root of his problem as well. With the new CBA, his Canadian contract gets transferred over. He's going to lose money in the exchange, about $400,000 or $500,000 on his base salary. I think he'd like to see the Islanders make a gesture to make him feel a little more comfortable.
Jim, you were going to interject there. Was it about Calgary? I'm kind of curious if they're happy with what went on.
Well, they are. They seem to be getting an awful lot tougher around here. Where they don't have Gary Roberts, but they bring in Alan May. They've got Alan May, Ronnie Stern, Paul Cruz, Sandy McCarthy, all playing in the lineup at the same time. So they get a little tougher and make those deadline deals. And maybe they needed to surround Nick Borshevsky with a little toughness, too. And out on the West Coast, we noticed ever since John McCaw took over controlling interest in the Canucks, they're signing a lot more people and bringing in a lot of people that are going to be harder to sign, like the Courtnall brothers. They're both don't have contracts for next season.
Hey, guys, how about the teams that didn't trade some of their players? I credit Edmonton for not trading Corson. I credit Florida for not trading Skrudland. And Buffalo could have traded Howardchuk for a draft choice, probably with Chicago. But what they did was tell their players that, hey, listen, we're in this thing. We're in the race for the playoffs. And they also told their fans that we're going to try and go with the team we have and do the best we can instead of taking some of these good players out of the lineup, putting youth in there, and the season goes right down the drain. And some of those teams for doing that.
Calgary could have moved Otto or Nieuwendyk, but Poplinski wouldn't stand for that.
Can you imagine that? Oh, what's this all about? Jim Poplinski back in the lineup, huh? That's great.
And why not?
It's an amazing story, Poplinski back, and I'm told this is the scoop of the trade deadline that the Rangers wanted to bring back J.D., but he couldn't take the pay cut.
Walking another one, are you, J.D.? Okay, thanks to John and to Jim and to Scott Morrison in the Hot Stove League by satellite tonight on After 40 Minutes.
After 40 Minutes. Brought to you by Owens Corning. We make the difference.
I've always wanted to have a sports car. The red of the Supreme and the black interior, I just said, that's me. With the ABS braking system, the dual airbags, that's an incredibly important feature. I think you're getting an awful lot of car for your money with a Cutlass Supreme. It's a great way to have a midlife crisis.
Demand better. Demand Oldsmobile from your Manitoba Chevrolet Geo Oldsmobile dealers.
This is Reimer country. Fast, economical, guaranteed service. Shrinking time and costs to deliver goods across the West, throughout Canada and the United States, right to your door. Reimer Express. Reliable economy. On time or free.
Direct seeding isn't just about the bottom line. It also saves and improves the soil. This message on sustainable farming is brought to you by Monsanto.
Annual weeds. You may not see them in your direct seeded or reduced tillage fields, but they're there. You may not think they can get ahead of your crop, but they can. You may not think you need to treat them before you seed, but you do. Now you can control a broad spectrum of annual weeds, plus whackgrass, for only $8.95 a liter, with Roundup herbicide. If you've only got annual weeds, it's under $4.50 an acre.
Farming has become more profitable and more sustainable by tilling less. Crop residue left on the soil surface in a direct seeding system will improve soil quality and reduce erosion. Standing stubble traps snow, increasing moisture conservation, while less tillage and greater cropping frequency adds more organic matter to the soil. This is part of sustainable farming.
Can you identify this burger at McDonald's? Here are some clues. 2 all-beef patties, special sauce. Lettuce, processed cheese. Pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. Not so fast, Smarty Packs. You missed the bacon. It's called the Bacon Big Mac. Yummy. Satisfying your twin desires for bacon and a Big Mac. Enjoy it on its own or as part of an extra value meal. The Bacon Big Mac, April's taste of the month at McDonald's. Oops, my vacation, sorry.
Hey! Who's that?
It's nobody we know.
It's Hank. Never thought he'd trade in his old GMC.
He had that baby for years. Worked it every day.
Wow, look at this machine.
Pretty roomy. You can really stretch out in this. Pretty fancy, Hank. Got a whole new interior.
And an airbag, too.
The 1995 Sierra.
Won't let me in. Says I have to take off my boots first.
The brutal killings of 2 Canadian priests.
It wasn't so much a murder as an execution.
Lyndon McIntyre searches for answers in our 3 decades of involvement with Rwanda.
The Canadian government know exactly what's happened.
The Fifth Estate, Tuesday at 8.
Next Next week on Doubleheader Saturday, we'll begin with a game that features the Montreal Canadiens and their continuing push to make the postseason. The Habs will find they have a bees in their Easter bonnet. The Bruins are at Montreal for Quebec East. For the viewers, Ontario West, you'll see the second Saturday in as many featuring the Leafs and the Jets, and we'll follow that for the full network with the Battle of Alberta. That's next Saturday on Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC. Back at the end of 2 periods of play at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, where one of the newest Leafs is embroiled in a dandy against his old team. Ty Domi, how do you feel tonight, Ty?
I feel a lot better than I did last night, but we're not getting the breaks on the power play there, and but we'll come around. It's a tough period, that period, but we'll bounce right back.
Physically, you have to feel awful, though. You had very little chance. You got here at 10 after 7 on the Friday night going into the game against Detroit. And I know you say you feel any bit better, but I'm sure you'll look forward to the next 5 days to get ready for Dallas.
Yeah, but, that's all part of hockey, and, I don't feel sorry for myself, and, I get paid to play hockey, and that's my job, and now I'm on a new team, and, I got to work as hard as I can when I'm out there, and I can't have any excuses.
Right. Any chance to talk to Pat about what he's expecting, or are you going to wait till tomorrow and the next day?
Yeah, we had a good talk today, and, Pat's a good coach, and I respect him a lot, and I just asked him really what role he wants me to play, and, he makes everything clear to me, and I'm trying to catch on his system as quick as I can, and I think I can help his hockey team and win the Stanley Cup.
Well, all best to you. There's a guy out there with a big collar and number 8 sign up in the crowd. Try to ignore him. That's Cherry. He's driving me nuts tonight. Good luck for you in Toronto.
Thank you very much.
There's Ty Domi making his return to the Maple Leafs. We're going to be checking out some new faces as well in Game 2 of our doubleheader, the Vancouver Canucks at Calgary. And for that story, let's head west to Steve Armitage.
Ron, the Canucks and Flames were very busy at the trading deadline yesterday, and 2 of the new Canucks will be in the lineup tonight. Russ Courtnall will play on a line with his brother Jeff, centered by Trevor Linden, and Roman Oksuda from the Edmonton Oilers will play with Pavel Bure. The 2 new Flames will dress tonight, Alan May and Nikolai Borshevsky. It's a big 4-pointer in the Pacific Division. The first place Calgary Flames taking on the second place Vancouver Canucks. The second part of our double tonight. Ron?
Jets head coach Terry Simpson. Terry, your thoughts after 2 periods?
Well, yeah, it's a pretty good game, Ron. I thought pace was good. I've been pleased with the way we've played. A couple mistakes in the first period, and Toronto was real quick to capitalize on them in our zone. But we've got to get a little bit more offense, and I thought that period we did. Hopefully we can come out in a strong third.
How can you get more offense?
Well, I think you just got to shoot the puck and drive the net more. I think we're holding up. We're coming into the zone and fading off instead of putting somebody through the net.
Well, here's the scoring in this hockey game. Gardner, Sundin, and old check for Winnipeg. 2-1 after 1. Second period, Ridley made it 3-1. Then Newman with a 2-man advantage, scoring for Winnipeg. 3-2. And the third period now. Ready to go. Chuck for Winnipeg shoots it in. They are going back to pick it up. Toronto coming out. Gill to center. Shooting a high one in off the glass. 46 seconds left in the Winnipeg penalty to Gillen. Todd Gill back. Leaf power play. Organizing again to come at the Jets. Right wing pass. Poe got across the line. Trying to feed it back and did. Gill takes it. Banked it on the boards. Then Hogue again. It is centered, and Ellen had moved in. And the pass behind him all the way back to center ice. 18 seconds left in the Winnipeg penalty. Jets pick it up. King's shot is stopped by Rhodes. 8 seconds left in that penalty. Gillen ready to come back on. And up the center is Ellen. Dumping the high one in. And Hogue missed it. Gillen out of the penalty box, and he's up there on this rush. Manson takes the shot, and the rebound, and Rhodes makes 2 in a row. Vanderbilt back the other way for Toronto and coming over the line. Vanderbilt had some good speed up going in with Gardner right behind him, but they knock it away from him. The Jets, Solani, unable to get by McCown. And the Leafs shoot it in again. Minute and a half into the third period. Toronto 3, Winnipeg 2. Puck off the skate and out. Manderville kicks it back in. One after it. But it'll be Kachuk who clears it to center ice. Butcher lofted one in. And Manson again brings it out. Manson coming to center. Shoots it in wide of the net. Bird took his man, and the Leafs after the puck can't get it by Zhenov. He shoots, and that's an easy save for Rhodes. Rising up to him as he cut the angle.
Lamnop, 9 goals last 4 games. I mentioned in the opening, 26 points on the road, 25 at home. I love those guys that score more often away than at home. He had a 5-game point streak coming into tonight, and he has not got a point. 9 goals, 1 assist in his last 5 games, with at least 1 point in each game. So he's the guy the Leafs ought to pay a little more attention to than anyone else on this Jet lineup at the moment.
Fans are out there asking, you're a former coach, the difference playing at home as opposed to on the road. Why should there really be a difference?
Quite a bit of it is in your head. It really is. From the day you start playing, coaches start telling you, we have to win our home games and tie on the road. So before you even know what it means to be home and away, you've kind of had it drilled into your head that you win at home and you tie on the road. And I really think quite a bit of it is mental, although home teams are usually more aggressive than road teams. And Mantel.
Intal was back there trying to move it out. Ella takes his shot and dribbled right into the crease area, but Cheloday saw it and he covered up. There were 2 Leafs in close, but the goaltender hangs on to it.
I'll tell you this, I love the idea that came out of the satellite hot stove feature, Houston and Davidson, saying there should not be games on the trading deadline day. If you look around, the Leafs made a lot of moves. They stumped last night against Detroit. Vancouver made a lot of moves. They weren't very good against Winnipeg. It does upset your team when you make 4 or 5 changes in one day and roar the guys into the lineup. So I think that would be a wise move for the NHL. Give the players and let the management have that day to do what they want, and you start the next day with your new players, not that night.
Even without trades, players are upset in anticipation of
Are you kidding? When I coached, if you even said to a player you'd like to see him for a minute, and you were going to tell him he played a good game, he gets the worst-looking look on his face as if he's gone. So I used to just not say a word to any player when I was coaching on trading deadline day because they took it the wrong way.
Who are you looking at?
That's right. What are you trying to tell me without moving your lips?
3 minutes gone in the third period. Toronto 3, Winnipeg 2. Puck loose near center ice, and Andrechuk ducked, but he got rid of it in time. Brown made the pass through the center. Zhenov comes in. Korolev tried to shoot it through a crowd. That was blocked on the Leafs dumping down the ice now. They're checking closely now in the third period. Only 1 goal apart, these two. Toronto has the upper hand at the moment, 3-2.
Well, not only did they both teams play last night, this is the 3rd game in 4 nights for both teams. So it's been a carefully played game and hasn't been nearly as intense as the last time the Jets invaded Maple Leaf Gardens. And physically, it's been almost a touch football game out here. And both teams are equipped to play rough games, but they decided for whatever reason not to tonight.
3:27 into the third period. The Jets and the Maple Leafs at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. Winnipeg with 30 shots so far. Toronto with 17. Leafs scored 2 goals in the first. Ochek added 1 for Winnipeg. Long shot, Rhodes save. Rebound is cleared immediately by McCown up as far as center. Henriksen shoots it in. There goes DiPietro chasing his man. Henriksen coming in. He tried to throw a hit and missed his man and hit the boards. Icing now called against Winnipeg. We are nearing the 4-minute mark of the third period.
If it doesn't have spirit, it's not worth doing. Stretch out.
With abandon, yet possessed by an overwhelming sense of purpose. Inspiration is unleashed to create a work of art. Introducing the Acura TL Series, a new spirit of touring sedans. Acura, designed with purpose, driven by passion.
Well, this tells you the story of the Leafs since they went to the semifinals last year. Here are the players that are still here. And if you want to look at the 93 semifinal team, you can take Rhodes and Gardner out of there. So Cliff Fletcher showing he's not satisfied with being in the Final Four. He wants to be in the Final Two and come out number one.
Toronto leading by a goal, and Butcher tried a shot from the blue line that was blocked in front of Chevelday. McCann mishandled it, chucked after him, and he had to kind of golf it away in a hurry, and it went over the boards at the Leaf bench.
Well, the Leafs have 3 forwards that aren't in the lineup tonight that have played some hockey here. And I think the pressure's on everybody, and I'm pretty sure that Pat Burns is a little happy, putting a little heat on Sutter, putting a little heat on Reichel. Gilmore, of course, is hurt. There's Rich Sutter. Gilmore is hurt. His dad told me he looks like a man from Mars. 2 big black eyes, a broken nose. They had to re-break it to set it, and he tried to talk Pat Burns into playing tonight. Burns said, no, sir, we don't play till next Friday. We got to give you a whole week to get better.
We hit the 4-minute mark of the third period. And Bill Berg shoots one from center ice. Domi in, bumped along the boards. Winnipeg trying to get something going here. They're within a goal of the Maple Leafs. Vanderbilt keeping the puck deep. Now Solani, no time to move on it. Shannon chased it. Given a ride by Berg, and Vanderbilt with the puck going in there again. Vanderbilt left it in the corner. Berg and Domi, but Domi without the stick. So Berg is in there to scoop it in for Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt coming off the boards. Turning away from Emerson, got it back to the net. There's Domi. He's pushed off the puck again. And Nelson Emerson skates away. He's coming to center and up as far as the Leaf line, where it was poke check back to center ice. Tkachuk left it at the blue line for Numanen. Tried to feed it up to Tkachuk. Here's McCown. Hogue can't handle the pass out of his reach. Hogue giving chase. Bumped along the boards by McCoolcheck. Sundin is in there also with the big Winnipeg defenseman. And Teemu Solani comes to center with Zhenov. Solani given a ride. No room to move by Allen. Zhenov trying to pass it in front. And Toronto covered and cleared it out to center. Gardner. He's moving up over the line. Nearing the 6-minute mark of the third period.
Think of someplace private, someplace quiet, someplace comfortable, someplace truly your own. Now, think of it moving at 80 feet per second. Introducing the all-new Monte Carlo, a very personal space designed from the inside out around you, the driver. The all-new 1995 Monte Carlo.
genuine Chevrolet.
Bob Cole and Harry Neal in the booth at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. Ron McLean and Don Cherry, the Hockey Night in Canada crew on this Saturday night with the Winnipeg Jets and the Toronto Maple Leafs in a 3-2 game. Toronto leading. Backhand by Andrechuk. Cheveldae the save. Stopped by Elliott, takes his shot, hit a stick and went wide of the net. Manson, a long pass ahead, but Gillen is away offside. That'll be called back.
Well, Randy Gillen, a Stanley Cup winner with the Pittsburgh Penguins. One of the better face-off men in the league, and quite often you'll see Terry Simpson put Gillen out on any one of the 4 lines in his own end to take the draw. And Grant Jennings had the pleasure of sipping out of the ever-elusive Stanley Cup when he played for Pittsburgh. A thrill that not many hockey players get to experience, Bob.
And it is becoming tougher every year. Check. Was a goal for Winnipeg tonight, tried another. But that weak shot was an easy save. Here's the tip in front. But up high off the stick of King, and on the glass. Andrechuk down with Randy Wood. Back for Andrechuk, but the pass in back to the net. Ridley is in to pick it up. Ridley leaving it for Andrechuk. Andrechuk hangs onto it. Pushed it to the corner. Manson coming in for Winnipeg, but Andrechuk has the puck. Gets set. The Cowan shot is stopped in front. Here's Wood. He can't get a shot away. Ridley was dumped in front of the goal. Slow to get up. King went back in for Winnipeg, and he has to clear the zone now. With the puck outside and shot back in. McCown straight up to the line. Dumped it off the boards and in over the line, but Shannon there for Winnipeg. Got it out again. Vanderbilt hammers it back in. This is Brown coming around the net for the Jets. Vanderbilt giving chase. Solani looking for a little room, and he finds it himself with a good move. Another one, and the backhander stopped by Rhodes. Nice flush by Teemu Solani, but on a sharp angle, trying to beat Rhodes.
Can you identify this burger at McDonald's? Here are some clues. 2 all-beef patties, special sauce. Lettuce, processed cheese. Pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. Not so fast, Smarty Pats. You missed the bacon. It's called the Bacon Big Mac. Yummy. Satisfying your twin desires for bacon and a Big Mac. Enjoy it on its own or as part of an extra value meal. The Bacon Big Mac, April's taste of the month at McDonald's. Oops, my vacation, sorry.
A luxury car is supposed to be powerful, comfortable, stylish, smooth, and expensive. 4 out of 5 ain't bad. The Nissan Altima. For a limited time, the Altima GXE is specially priced to include $2,200 in no-charge features.
From Mr. Solani, number 8, 76 goals as a rookie. Pretty tough to live up to that one every year.
Well, the face-off is to the right. Damian Rhodes now. Hot band played last night, beaten by Detroit. Rhodes tonight, and ahead of Winnipeg at the moment, 3-2. To the 8-minute mark in a moment in this third period. Jennings coughed it up at the blue line, but Thompson was offside.
Now, Felix Potvin is getting a look from the bench. Pat Burns, I think, feels is more confident than ever on nights he decides to give Felix a rest. The way Damian Rhodes has played, and tonight has been no exception. He's been the busiest guy in the rink. 34 Jet shots. By our score here, he has had to put up with 11 scoring opportunities by the Winnipeg Jets. The Leafs only have 4.
And only 18 shots.
Right.
Over just about 2.5 periods now. 12 minutes left in this third. Jennings in the lead zone. Left it for Bill Bird. He dropped it back to Ellen. Couldn't find it. Jennings got it across center ice. Right back again by Winnipeg. 3 of them were up there, but nobody could move in on it. Chevrolet out of the net. Scooping it on the glass to his right. Shot by Jennings. Off his arm. And deflected wide. Ellen back. Up to Berg and reach for it. Just knifed it away. Now Toronto. To Domi. Backhands it in. The Leafs are changing quickly as Numanen comes back for Winnipeg. Ahead on the wing. Clear to Zhenov at center. Coming in was Drake, but it's back out over the line, and Drake left it for Korolev. Gill. Can't get it out. Now they get it up across center to Holt. Chevrolet stopping it for Manson. Manson has been lugging the puck pretty well for Winnipeg. Got it ahead. Zhenov coming into the slot, leaving it. Dropping it back for Drake. He goes to the corner, and Zhenov helps him out. Zhenov lost it to Sundin. And to Gardner. He's got speed, but not enough against Quintal. Now Holt with Gardner. Hand on it. Sundin keeping it in with Holt. This is the big line for Toronto, keeping the heat on the Jets. Sundin again. Out to Gardner. Forced back in the net. Gardner and Holt. Gardner in for Holt. Put it through the crease. And it was cleared out by Korolev. Halfway mark now. Third period. Still 3-2 Toronto. That's offside. Across center was Butcher.
Sundin playing center ice tonight, but the Leafs have had very little going offensively. And the Winnipeg Jets, who have been more dangerous offensively, still kind of sitting back. And this is one of those counterpunch games where you're hoping the other team makes a mistake. Berg and Martin exchanging words, sticks, elbows, you name it. Berg was lucky he didn't get caught for hooking there. 10:01 to go, 3-2 Leafs.
Up to center ice. Mike Craig. Domi and Vanderbilt with Berg, and Domi missed that one. It was cleared by him all the way back to center. Berg didn't see it. It was knocked down inside the line. Butcher shot it in. Scooped away and cleared into Solani. Big save, rebound! Reach with a stick. That's the save of the game so far. Big booming shot from inside the blue line. He made a brilliant save. Rebound came his way again. He made a save. It got behind him, and it looked like it was going in. He reached back with the stick, and the crowd appreciating the work of Davey Rhodes.
Butcher got caught, and we had a 4-on-1. There's the first good stop by Rhodes, and the ability to recover is a goaltender's greatest talent sometimes, and Rhodes gave you an example here of a puck that was slowly sliding into the net, but he reached back and recovered what looked like the tying goal. Damian Rhodes has been strong tonight.
Yes, he has. This time he shoveled it away to Andrechuk. It got by Wood to center ice. Numanen trying to bring it back in, decided to lift it in deep into the Leaf zone. Gill hurried to pass. Got by everyone to center ice, and King wraps it back in for Winnipeg. 9 minutes left in the third period. Toronto 3, Winnipeg 2. Gill up there now to center. Put it up over the line. Andrechuk coming in with Ridley. Andrechuk stopped by Numanen. And it's cleared by Mikulchuk. The count again. Shoots it back in. It bounced in front of Chevelday. Cool check. Got it by Gill. And Andrechuk is back to fire it in deep again. The leads are changing as the Jets come back. Numanen. No play on that one. He shot it out. It's deflected. The shot by Butcher. And it went over the glass into the crowd. 8:22 left in the third.
I always said I'd introduce my sons to Bumper early. They're brand name parts. I mean, the repair's going to last. With Bumper to Bumper, you get no surprises. More than you can say about life.
Oh, Dad.
For my own car and my business, it's Bumper to Bumper.
Coming up on Country Canada, solving the cod mystery. This fishery scientist is working to discover why the Atlantic cod stocks have collapsed.
We're very interested in knowing whether these younger, smaller members of the stock are comparable in their reproductive potential to older fish.
That's Sunday on Country Canada.
I always said I'd introduce my sons to Bumper early. They're brand name parts. I mean, the repair's going to last. With Bumper to Bumper, you get no surprises. More than you can say about life.
Oh, Dad.
For my own car and my business, it's Bumper to Bumper.
Cross-check right here from behind on Andrechuk by King. Escaped the eyes of the referee, Trache.
And don't forget, after this one, Game 2 of our Saturday night doubleheader. Canucks and Flames. This game, 8:10 remaining in the third period. Long shot in there, wide of the Leaf net. 3-2, Toronto leading Winnipeg. Sundin moving down on the Jets. Leaves it for Gardner. That doesn't work. And Allen turns back at his own blue line. He'll shoot it in from center. Chevelday making sure, down on one knee. Here's a chance for Gardner. Gardner waited to shoot. Goal! Gets the goal for Toronto. His first as a Leaf. Second point tonight. And Toronto leads 4-2.
Well, defensive breakdowns have caused the Jets troubles all year, not only tonight. That's 136 goals against. 25th worst in the league. And not a very good job done by Zamnoff on Hogue. Zamnoff tried to intercept the pass instead of just taking the man. And McCulchuk was a little slow getting the Gardner. And usually, when a goal results on not a great scoring chance, it's more than one defensive mistake. And there were two glaring ones there on that goal.
Gardner and Sundin assisting on the goal at 12:18, giving the Leafs a 4-2 lead. Vanderbilt taking the puck out and coming in front, right to jam it in. It's down the crease. And down goes Chevelday. Chevelday and two of his defensemen jumped down on it. Quintal again. Well, this time he knew better. Didn't put his hand near it.
He learned not to put that hand in the fire again.
He made a good play going down to help the goaltender.
Domi going to the net here. Most of his goals aren't very pretty, and he nearly shovels one in here. Quintal should turn around and take a look at him, but he keeps him away long enough for Chevelday to freeze the puck. Benoit Hogue, his first goal at the Leafs. 99 goals in the 3 previous years to this short one. He hasn't scored at this pace this year, but a goal scores goal. It wasn't on his stick very long when he got it going to the net. And if he'd have taken any more time, it would have been probably deflected by Zamnoff or stopped by Chevelday.
Gardner made the pass. Sundin started the scoring play. Hogue 7th of the season. 12:18 the time. And now we're down to 7:15 left in the third. Winnipeg on the move. Again, Rose very steady tonight for Toronto. Kicks it out. Vanderbilt lob one in wide of the Winnipeg net. Domi back of the net. Berg in front. Chevelday jam it in. Boy, the puck was loose in the crease quite some time.
Well, Quintel got a stick in the face well after the scramble had stopped. It may well have been his own player's stick that came up. Quintel and Manson on that play did a nice job of getting rid of the white shirts in front of the net, as you're going to see coming up right here. Quintel takes Domi out of there, and then Manson gets Berg out of there. Pretty tough to score when you're lying down.
Big effort by the Winnipeg defenseman to maybe prevent Domi from scoring his first goal as a Maple Leaf. The puck loose in the crease area for quite some time, and Cheveldain unable to move.
Yeah, he was paralyzed in there. He was lying down and couldn't get out far enough to get it at the first part of that scramble. Lucky for him, his defenseman knocked the Leaf players out of there.
6:52 remaining in the third period. Toronto 4, Winnipeg 2. Newman takes over. Comes out for the Jets to pass to Olczyk. He dumped it in. A nice play to Eastwood. Coming in. Big rebound. He scored. Damian Rhodes thought he had it, but the big rebound, and he couldn't quite hang on to it. And the Jets don't give up. They come back, scoring quickly, and King will get that one.
Well, the Leafs got caught in a long 2-on-1. Eastwood wires the puck. A nice stop by Rhodes. King muffed the first chance, but caught up to the puck, and then got the second chance. And you can see it just got over the goal line. A nice stop there by the right foot of Rhodes. Rhodes almost stops it. And actually, if he hadn't moved after he stopped it, although he didn't know where the puck was, it may not have squirted in. So Chris King, with 6:40 to go in this game, give the Jets another chance to rescue what looked like a defeat after the goal by Benoit Hogue.
Less than a minute later. They'll make that just barely over that. 13:20. Hogue scored at 12:18. So King, second of the season from Eastwood and Olczyk. At 13:20, it's 4-3. Toronto leading. Minute 2 seconds after Hogue. The Leafs are in. Sundin. Rebound, and again, Cheveldain down in the crease. And he's hanging tough for Winnipeg. 6:13 left.
Canadian Tire is eliminating the GST. Now buy quality Motomaster car and light truck radial tires and pay no GST. But it won't last forever, so step on it.
Dangerous. Sundin cutting it off the wing. He can do it from both sides, and he can't get it quite up high enough to beat Cheveldain over his right pad. And Hogue came in and couldn't get the rebound up either.
Point of the night for Eddie Olczyk and the Winnipeg Jets. He and Eastwood assisting on that King goal. 13:20. A minute and 2 seconds after Hogue had given the Leafs a 4-2 lead. It's 4-3 now. Here's Solani dropping it neatly up the line for Tkachuk. He tried to go in around Elliott, who stopped him. Far side. Emerson trying to dig it out, but the Leafs get it as far as center. Domi getting a lot of ice time now for Toronto. Shoots it in deep. Ian Berg went after it with Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt gets his man. Emerson takes it up to the line, and Allen broke it up. Here's Vanderbilt again, turning. Tried to bank it on the boards for Domi, but they were going off. 5:30 left in the third. Toronto by a goal. Up to center is Quintal. Golfed back down the ice by Andrechuk. Count. He didn't see Solani come in behind him. Got away with it, though. And Butcher decides to look it up. Dumped it in for Cheveldain to chip it away, but it didn't matter. They were offside at the Winnipeg line with 5:07 remaining in the third.
Well, the last 5 minutes since a couple of goals were scored, the game has improved immensely. It was a bit of a sleepwalker offensively for the Leafs, who may have been just trying to protect the lead. And the Winnipeg Jets can't beat Damian Rhodes, who has had signs every night here at Maple Leaf Gardens.
Butcher and McCown contending with Eastwood was Butcher. Shot it to center. Shannon rolled it back in over the leaf line. Shot by Brown, didn't get too far. And the Leafs scrambling inside the blue line now. Wood down, trying to find it with his hand. Knocked at it twice, got it out. Rhodes stepping back to the net, leaving it for Butcher. Old check-in for checking for Winnipeg. Andrechuk scooping one away. Leafs very defensive-minded now, leading by only a goal and being outshot 40-27. Rhodes, the story, stands tall right now for the Toronto Maple Leafs. He's played a solid game. Shot to center. Jets will bring it back in over the line. Korolev tried to get loose. Jamnov was with him. Drake had been dipped at the blue line. Now Drake knocks it down. It is Korolev coming back in with Jamnov. The pass too far. Rhodes out of the net. A fair bit from the line. Fired in away wide of the net by Mikulchek. And McCown falls on it. We are down to 3:42 left in the third period. A one-goal game.
Our new advanced handling and suspension system. We benchmarked it against performance luxury sedans. Then we decided we hadn't gone far enough. Introducing the driver control system. Exclusively on the new Chevy Blazer. It's nice to know it's there.
Toronto's leading here 4-3 with 3:42 remaining, and the Cardinals getting ready to go for the Vancouver Canucks. That'll be part of our doubleheader tonight. Right after this one, we'll whip out to Calgary.
And Bob, on behalf of everybody on Hockey Night in Canada, we all wish Jimmy Pawlinski a successful comeback. And I'm upset he's not in the lineup tonight.
Jimmy, don't get hurt. We've got a golf game promise coming up soon.
Oh, Pawlinski, the fiery emotions will start, and he'll be all right.
You know,
5 years, though, that's a long time.
I always said he quit too soon.
Yes, he did. No doubt about that. And are we going to say he came back too late? I hope not.
3:35 left in the third. Toronto leads by 1 goal. The Leafs have managed to jam up the traffic lanes inside their own blue line. It's been a while since the Jets have had a shot right on the net. It's been 40 for some time now. Pass comes out over the line to Vanderbilt, coming across center, trying to go in with Brown right there. And the pass back to him. Here's Stoney. And that's stopped by Day.
A big assignment now, Bob, for the Leaf wingers to make sure they get the puck out when it comes around the boards. Because the Winnipeg defensemen will be pitching for sure. They will not be nearly as selective as to when they do it. And if you keep getting it into the center zone, you'll get a chance on an odd man rush. Domi, the third man on the rush, never got a lot of wood on that shot. And he's a little upset how he'd love to score against his old team.
Canadians at Pittsburgh in a close one tonight at the Forum. 2-1 late in the third period. Montreal leading. Leafs are ahead by 1 goal here. Olczyk shoots one to center ice. Andrechuk knocked it back inside his own line, and McCown was there to pick it up, and here's Ridley. Ridley coming up to the Winnipeg line, just got rid of it, but off the boards for Andrechuk. And he went in too far. Wood tried to kick it loose. Andrechuk stopped it. King will bring it out for Winnipeg. Up there with Ed Olczyk. Sweeping to his left. King comes across the line, put on the brakes. Olczyk in front of the net. And again, Rhodes covers up. 2:40 remaining in the third. The Leafs hang on to a one-goal lead. Andrechuk going up there, leaving it at the line, and Wood didn't know which way to turn. When he did make up his mind, the puck went the other way. Korolev rattles one in. Rhodes tried to stop at 2:20 left. Third period. There's Drake. He's back at the net. Trying to center it. He's covered up. Here it comes. Right back near the line. The shot by Newman. Deflected wide of the goal. Winnipeg pressing right here to tie it. And Andrechuk got it out over the line. And then at center was Sundin. It goes right on, and Newman starts the Jets back in. Korolev winds up, and the shot is deflected into the crowd with 1 minute and 50 seconds left to play in the third period. 4-3 Toronto.
Matt Sundin, his first full game in a while as a Maple Leaf as a center. I like him at center ice. I wouldn't be afraid to put Gilmore on the wing.
Montreal Canadiens with a big win tonight, moving up to 33 points, tied with Hartford. A 2-1 win over Pittsburgh, and we welcome you people who have been watching the Canadiens and the Penguins from the Forum at Montreal. I'm Bob Cole with Harry Neal, Ron McLean, and Don Cherry. At Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, here's Matt Sundin. Doug Gilmore not playing tonight. He takes over at center ice on the Leafs' first line. Gartner and Hogue on the wings, and the Leafs are leading 4-3. And there he goes. Sundin got in over the line and just threw it at the net as he was checked quickly. 1 minute and 40 seconds remaining in the third period. Solani racing back for Winnipeg. Solani dropped it back into the slot area. The Leafs were back to cover up, and Hogue brings it to center. Hogue with Gartner coming in. Gartner shoots. Hogue. Shot in there, drifted wide. Sundin is on it. Emerson takes over for Winnipeg. 1:10 remaining in the third. 4-3 Toronto. Solani shot on goal. And he missed on the short side. And it's Damian Rhodes in goal for Toronto. And the shot by Solani is just wide. Winnipeg has had 41 shots in this hockey game. Toronto 29. It is 50 seconds remaining. Cheveldae in goal for the Jets. And here's Berg intercepting. But offside is called at the Winnipeg line. Just as Cheveldae was starting to leave the net with 44.8 seconds remaining. Gardner and Sundin in the first. Olczyk for Winnipeg. Ridley made it 3-1 Toronto. Newman and then for Winnipeg with a two-man advantage. Hogue and King exchange goals here in the third period. It is 4-3.
But a good chance for the Jets as the ever-elusive Teemu Solani got away from Benoit Hogue on the rush, and Rhodes had to make the stop. Harry Simpson, I think, is telling Cheveldae to get back in the net. Don't go in the hole all the way back. And then if we get the puck going into their end, you get out. Here's the chance I'm talking about. A beautiful pass right there from Jamnov, and you can see Solani fight off Hogue, and perhaps bothered enough from behind so he couldn't get everything on the shot.
Well,
Mark Butcher came in and helped out as well.
He was checked by, yes, a couple of Leafs. Great effort by Solani, though. Hepburn hanging on. Losing last night 4-2 to Detroit. Winnipeg won last night 7-4. They flew in here this morning. First period, rather a soft period. The Leafs outscoring Winnipeg 2-1.
If I was John Paddock, I'd be right to the National League office and don't accept any doubleheaders when you play the night before in Winnipeg and the next night in the Eastern time zone. That is not a 2-hour trip.
40 seconds left in the third period. And Chevalier again started out, but now he'll have to go back in as the Jets are called for icing. Ridley and Newman scored in the second, and Hogan King.
Well, the Jets win the draw. Newman gets it over to Emerson, and Emerson doesn't even try to get to the red line. Of course, his thinking is that his forward can beat the Leafs defenseman to it. Not a very smart gamble, and cost the Jets 100 feet and at least 15 seconds.
Hogue got his 7th of the season, his first as a Maple Leaf at 12:18. Then a minute 2 seconds later, King made it close again for the Jets. The Leafs with an old check. We're down to 36.7 seconds remaining in the third now. Winnipeg trying to get out of the zone. They get it up as far as center. Chevalier can't get out though. 25 seconds remaining. The Leafs lead by just the 1 goal. Time running out for Winnipeg. Good forechecking by Bird to keep it in deep. Chevalier had to step back behind the net to stop it. Now he's moving out, but only 12 seconds left. There he goes. They have the extra man on. Solani dropping it up the line. 5 seconds remaining. Close call. Emerson. Band on it. And the Leafs clear to the line. Newman and shot. Won't work. And the horn goes to end the hockey game with Toronto hanging on to defeat the Winnipeg Jets behind the goaltending of Damian Rhodes. He had 41 shots tonight, stopped all but 3.
Some nights you win when you really don't deserve it. I think that was the case for the Leafs. And some nights you lose when you should have won. Winnipeg just couldn't beat Rhodes.
So, the final score, Toronto 4, Winnipeg 3. In a moment, the three-star selection.
They test car batteries here. They test pickup trucks here. And when they test yard machines, they go here, Dave Spivey's house. MTD tractors, chipper shredders, and lawnmowers tackle the toughest jobs. Look for MTD yard machines at retailers near you. MTD. Wow! I like it! MTD yard machines. Best value on the Canadian landscape. Available at these retailers.
3,
Stand by.
2, 1.
Good evening.
There is a time at the end of the day to make sense of them.
I really like my job. I've owned this OK Tire store for 16 years. Sure, I make a living. That's good.
Olczyk, a tremendous performance. 3-point night for Olczyk on behalf of the Jets. The second star, Mike Gartner, who's lined with Sundin and Hogue, was sensational offensively. And in net, 38 saves for Damian Rhodes as he faces Toronto to the 2-point performance. We'll be back with more on Molson Hockey Night in Canada on Steve.
To your suggestion that we have the fans write in to ask us questions on different subjects, it's just been unbelievable. I know Jim's just had piles of letters to go through and select different things. We're going to get to some of those questions a little bit later, but one fan actually wrote in and said, 2 goals in 1 week. They want to know when you're going to call your press conference and where you're going to hold it.
You're brutal. I think I might call a press conference. Mine's going to be at Fingers.
Any particular reason?
Great wings there. Unbelievable wings over at Fingers. Chicken salad sandwiches for everybody.
Can we expect more of this goal scoring to continue in the near future?
I hope so. I've had lots of chances, but haven't been able to do anything, and finally got some luck and some bounces around the net, so hopefully it'll continue.
Well, in response to your question, Dave Manson, he's going to have that press conference soon. Thanks a lot.
Molson Special Dry presents the Jets This Week. Coming up, Eddie O, he's back, and he's happy.
I believe you have to prove yourself every day, regardless of what you've done in the past. And I had some good success here a couple of years ago, and I want to regain my form that I had. And like I said, with what I went through last year and this year, I feel that I can become a better all-around player and a better person for what I went through. And being back in Winnipeg is definitely
a great feeling for me and my family, and it's good to be back, and I just want to help play and just get a few wins now, and everybody will be happy.
Nelson Emerson and Keith Tkachuk in round 2 of the Chrysler Shootout. And a look at all this week's action. Over the line, 2-on-1 with Tkachuk working in, he fakes, he shoots, he scores!